Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bullsitting with me and Matt Likes Games. But we got a couple other people on the panel today because Loke is out doing some very important and actually some very exciting family stuff right now that I'm going to let him announce at his own leisure. I don't want to take the surprise away from the brother. But anyways, welcome everybody to the show. Welcome guests. We got Scrub Nurse here today. K Mega's out here halfway on the screen. He don't know what he looked like because he probably ain't looking at the YouTube. We're out here today. We're out here to talk about all different types of stuff that's been going on here in the gaming space. But first, let me introduce the first time guest here. As I said earlier, Scrub Nurse, welcome here, brother. Going ahead, let everybody know what you usually be out here doing, what kind of shows you be on, what kind of games you be playing. Give people a good idea in case they didn't see that episode of Behind Them Sticks with me and you.
Oh yeah. If you hadn't had a chance to see that episode Behind the Sticks, please check it out. But yeah, I'm Scrub Nurse. Southern boy in Louisiana, so first person shooters. Uh, my main joint, but I love me some Xbox games. PlayStation, a little bit, but I'm mainly on Xbox. I like my shooters. I like my adventure games. Throw in a little bit of fighters in there, so you can check me out in the crew every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, Gaming Beyond the Box. So look that up on YouTube. Come check us out. Have some fun. We like to talk games. We got people from every console, every PC, whatever. We like to have fun, goof around. It's just a bunch of people having some good fun. So, yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, Scrub Nurse 3, you'll see a lot of Call of Duty clips and doing a lot of that on Twitch. I have some friends that for decades. That's what we do. We get around, and that's like drinking beers and having fun with my boys since everybody's across the nation. So, do a lot of first person shooter stuff. So, I'm really excited about today, see what's going to be. Got K Mega in here to be first time rolling with him. This is going to be good. So, let's go.
I'm over here trying to fix K Mega's big ass head, and he done moved his camera, so now I gotta fix it back. No, you good? Don't mess with nothing. Don't mess with nothing, K.
I'm glad I could do this to you
yes,
and be excited about it. Well, you over
I'm
here just
happy
laughing
for
at
you
my
because you
struggle
deserve it.
with
Because
GRG.
you deserve it because Sir X Man be lighting you up week in and
Man,
week out.
light me up, bro. Lighten me up, man. Lighten me
well,
up, bro.
well, K Mega brother, good to have you back on the show. It's been some time, at least like I want to say like 5-6 months. It feels like since you've been on
Yeah, it's
here.
been a minute.
Really good to have you. Tell us what you've been up to. Obviously, I mean, I was teasing you just before the show about your new setup and everything like that, saying that
Yeah.
you could have got things working off the rip if you would have just bought a PS5, but instead you decided to make things complicated and make things expensive, unlike what our brother Greg Miller told you to do. So please let everybody know what's been going on with you. Like how have you been gaming? How you been doing? What's cracking, brother? Good to have you here, for real.
Man, thank you, man. No, for real, man. It's good to be here. I'm sad that what I'm saying, my brother down on the south end of the border in Texas, Wakanda, Texas, is not here with us. What I'm saying, Wakanda forever. What I'm saying, we got your people back here with us. What I'm saying, the Texas team. What I'm saying, Texas, is it Texas Mozambique or is it Texas Wakanda? I think I like Wakanda Texas better.
I
But
like
anyway,
Wakanda,
shout out
Texas.
to Lo.
No.
Yeah, I like Wakanda Texas. But yeah, no, it's great to be here. You know, it is. I'm saying, just in the process of finishing up a move, and I'm trying to set up the new game room and then all the rest of the stuff in the house, yard, stuff like that. So it's been stressful. Haven't been gaming as much as I've been wanting to, but I did get some Redfall in, did get some Jedi Survivor in. I'm looking forward to tonight playing some Ravenlock and jumping back on some Redfall, seeing how that is, and man, just enjoying gaming, man. Just enjoying life, man. I really do appreciate you having me on, man. You need to hit me up more often. But you know what
Oh,
I'm saying.
absolutely.
But you selfish though, so I get it.
Okay, a little bit of slander right there at the end. I appreciate
know.
it.
But man,
I
it's good to
definitely
see the
appreciate
guests,
it.
man. Maddest Games. You know what I'm saying? I got you on my hit list for talking bad about Halo 5.
I
But
mean,
then
hey,
you know,
that is what it
but then
is.
Nurse here, man. Good, nice to meet you, brother, man. Hope that we get to meet and get to talk and chat after, and you know what I'm saying. Hopefully, this ain't the last time we work together again, brother, man. It's good to
For
meet you.
sure,
And,
for
and
sure.
another brother from the South. You know what I'm saying? You from Louisiana, from Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? I I don't know where Ham Solo's from.
I
No,
was gonna say
nobody
something
does.
disrespectful, but I
Nobody
ain't gonna
does.
do. I was gonna say I'm from your mama's house, but but anyways,
Ooh.
so K Mega, real question,
Yes, sir.
have you been continuing to enjoy your Series X as of lately, or have you been leaning more on the PC side? Because I know that you got that 4080. I mean, you spent a
Mhm.
buck. You spent some heavy change for that console. I mean, not for the console, but for the PC. And then you got
Yep.
that nice ass monitor. So I mean, I know sometimes it's probably hard to tear yourself away from that and go back to your TV and Xbox and whatnot. Tell me what that experience has kind of been like since you upgraded and everything.
It is, you know, I will not lie. There's been some times because I got this hooked up to my PC as well. And then, you know, unfortunately I got this hooked up to my Xbox, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, um, but yeah, no, there's some times when I'm playing some games. Like when I was playing Star Wars Jedi, I'm over here like this, like, woo, like, you know what I'm saying? It looks
You
good,
classy.
man. And then, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got the pinky up on them, uh, but then when I go back and I'm looking at games like when I'm playing, you know, because I've been going between Redfall and Redfall on PC and on Xbox. You know, the one thing that I do there is differences, but I mean, I'm just a gamer, man, and I think that just because of the problems that you get with PC, I'm always going to remain to be a console gamer first. That is not going to say as much money as I spend on building on this build. I'm not going to game heavy on this bad boy for at least a year. But I'm pretty sure that, and I've already had my moments where I'm like, man, you know what, and just turn on the Xbox and then I'm gaming on that. So it's
Mhm.
tipsy turvy, but for right now, I'm going to lean more for the PC because it's new, it's fresh. But yeah, but I'll be getting back to being my console home before all said and done.
What a beautiful segue he kind of just led me right into, because he was saying, man, sometimes I'm playing on this PC and I'm just like, nah, this ain't working out. I need to turn on the Xbox. And the first game that I think of as of right now, actually, there's two games that I think of right now. Both busted as hell, both pretty dang fun. One is critically acclaimed, and one seems like, it was very mishandled from the jump. So the first one I'm gonna talk about real quick is obviously, maybe not obviously for some of you guys, but Jedi Survivor. I want to know what your guys. I mean, obviously, before we get into the nitty gritty, let's go on ahead and cover a couple of these little topics real quick, okay? Because once we get into the nitty gritty, I don't know how I'm gonna transition after that. So let's keep it real. Jedi Survivor. I know I've played it. I know Matt's played it. K Mega, I
Yep.
thought you just said that you played a little bit of it.
No, I've been playing it.
Scrub
Yeah.
Nurse, have you had a chance to even try it?
I still got to buy it yet. I hadn't had a chance to try it. I've been doing more Redfall than anything this last week.
Ooh, so I'll get to you shortly.
Mm-hmm.
K Mega, please let me know what your
Yeah.
experience has been like so far in that game. Are you playing it on Xbox or did you get it on PC?
I got it on PC.
Oh, here we go.
What, bro?
The
I told you.
transformation.
I told you my strategy. I jumped into the EA Origin, paying the monthly fee for that, and so I got access to every last one of their games that they're going to drop. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and try this game and see how it is, and it was busted. But then they put a patch, and so I just bought it like probably earlier. I bought it this morning. So I was like, okay, it's up to snuff. But then I heard that they patched it for consoles as well. So like, no, it was it was an easier trade, $15 or $60 or $70. Like, so no,
Wait,
I'm like over here looking at it.
$15?
Yeah, I'm a PC guy right now. So,
Where'd you get it for $15?
Through EA
From EA
Origin.
Origin.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what my
The
strategy was.
subscription.
It's like, yeah,
Oh, the subscription. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
so
you
I was like,
so you don't own the game,
Yeah.
then you just playing the game.
no. I bought it this morning.
How'd you buy it for $15?
No, I paid $15 for
man.
it first. And then I went ahead this morning because I've been playing it to see how it plays. And then once they get the patch for it, I'm like, oh, it plays better. It looks better. I went ahead and bought it this morning.
Oh, okay, I feel you. So you tried it out there and then bought it.
Yeah, I tried it out first.
Gotcha.
Because I
okay.
was looking at paying $15, paying $70, and then this game is busted. I'm going to be pissed. But if I go ahead and I get to try to pay through with the subscription for $15 and see how the game works, and I'm going to do the same thing with the game that you capped for the game with the hand magic.
Ark Survival Evolved. Let's go.
Oh my God! Stop it! No,
No,
that's
stop
the other. Stop it. Anyway, but that's what I did. But anyway, no. I've been playing it though.
I like the way that you did it though, because you hopped in there like Game Pass, and then got your game. You're like, let me try this real quick before I put some more stacks on it. And then you went on ahead and bought it after you got your experience in it. So you Game Pass that game off of Game, but not on Game Pass. Gotcha.
Right.
Matt, brother. Tell me, what has the experience been like? I know it's been weird. Me and you have talked about it a little bit. Go on ahead and spit your bars, brother.
So I gotta be honest, I have not really played it since Redfall came out. But before that, I'll tell you that game busted as hell. Was one of the most busted games I've ever played in my life, and we'll talk about the next one too. But like, dude, that game, I don't know why they put a performance mode in that game when it's not 60 FPS. It's not 60 FPS.
Not even slightly.
Not even close. Not even close. The only way you're getting 60 FPS in that performance mode is if you look directly up to the sky and stand still. That's it. You're not getting 60 FPS in that mode. But like,
disrespectful.
Dude, yes, I'll play it. I'd rather play that at 30 FPS, and at least it's kind of consistent. Whereas that 60 FPS mode is messed up. I take that back. I tried it a little bit after the patch, and the 60 FPS mode was still just non-existent. So I'm going through Redfall right now, which is funny to say. I'm putting that down because it's broken to play Redfall. It's funny to say that, but that's I want to be able to enjoy Jedi Survivor at like its best, and right now it's not at its best. But it's a great game. It's a great game from what I've played.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So before I go on ahead and give you guys my thoughts and whatnot, I just wanted to shout out the chat. I see Fifth Horseman out here. Scrub Nurse is up in the chat saying what's up to everybody here from the panel. Back from the dead up in here. Silent Cypher, Mr. Joanna Dark, Jeremy Brown. Several of you guys here watching the show. I can see most of you guys already hit that like button, and most of you guys already subscribed. But if there's anybody new up in here, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the show so far. But my experience so far with Jedi Survivor is, man, this game is dope. Very dope game. I love the different type of stances that you get in the game. The blaster stance is insanely really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. A lot of the same stuff that you did in the previous game are just there and a little bit more enhanced. The world is much more open to where you can just kind of get around, do whatever you want. I found myself in a main mission and then I veered off and ended up doing a rumor. And I mean, it's a really dope game. But I tell you, the performance is jarring. Like, to the point where there's a few times where I was in the middle of a mission and I was just ready to turn off the game. I was just like, dude, this is bad. Like, this is worse than Quantum Break on like a VCR Xbox. Like it looks really rough. And and there's certain moments because I have the performance mode on. So like when I get into certain areas, especially like when I'm close to the ship or inside the ship, it's like 60 FPS perfect. And then like
Yeah.
I hop onto one of those zip lines or something, and it's just like stutter, stutter, stutter. And then I get all the way down there and start getting into a fight, and I'm in the middle of trying to dodge, and my screen is just tearing and everything. It's just it's really frustrating, and especially frustrating knowing how good the game is. Like under the hood, the game is like all the parts are there. They're just like it's just like, what? Why is this not working properly? What's going on? Why did they drop this 60 FPS patch? And then I was on vacation with the wife, or just like a 3-day vacation with the wife and my child, and we went up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to go check out she had to work like a day and a half there, but we went there to check out the falls and whatnot. It was pretty dope. I brought my Series S with me, and I was playing it on there, and I was just like, this, like, I get it. It's like, what, like 1080 30.
Like 1080p, yeah.
And I kid you not, it felt like it was running better on there than it was on my Series X.
Yep.
I kid you not, it felt like that. And then and it feels very similar with the next game that we're going to be talking about here soon. But I mean, it's just really disappointing. And a lot of people are really on top of what Xbox did with Redfall and the performance and whatnot. But this is clearly an industry-wide issue. This is not Xbox. Definitely. This is not. Oh man, this developer is way more quality than this other one. It's not really that at all. Because if you look at like the last several years of games, I don't know what developer didn't have an issue in some capacity with a specific game. Hi-Fi Rush and maybe Spider-Man Miles Morales are the two that I know that have like the fewest.
Yeah, those are
that I can really remember.
Those aren't normal.
Those should be the standard, right?
Yeah, those aren't normal, unfortunately.
Right.
But it's just really frustrating to see this new $70 price tag stamped, and 90% of these games I'm getting at that price are fucking broken. It's
now you see what I did with paying the $15 for EA Origin to try it out first before I decided to, because I mean I wanted to get, because I'm very excited for the game, right? I mean I bought it today, but it's just more the thing, like
20 years ago it would have been a day one buy, but right now it's like
like
update city.
I mean, if you want to wait, if you want me to wait for a patch, then fine. I'll just wait to go ahead. I'll find an angle to play it without paying full price, or I'll just wait. That's just kind of like my new standard on it right now. Is like the $70 price tag to me is if that screams premium, that screams quality. If that's what you're saying that this is quality or premium experience in the sense of just how the game plays, no, it's not worth that much. Now, if you're talking about the game itself, story, combat, like everything else that you was talking about, Ham, yes, the game has, but it's what I call potential. But that's still not garner for me to pay $70 for you to bring me out launch a broken product or pre-order a broken product. You're making me lose trust into what you're doing. And this is my favorite hobby in the world. But I just got to make adjustments.
I feel that
$70. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the quality. We've learned that over the last couple of months and years. It's basically we got to pay back whoever, whenever, to make this game and to make our profits for the for our quarterly things to show our shareholders. I mean, same thing with the gas. There ain't no reason why the gas is going up $1, $2, $3 or $4. It's because they can, and they know folks will still buy it. The way you've been going out with a lot of these games, you look at a big one. One of the reasons why I didn't jump on the new Jedi Star Wars game right first day is because messing up. Something like a Cyberpunk throwing me off. It's not on Game Pass where I can try it. I have to jump both feet first, and seeing all those problems, I just kind of worried.
All right. Well, I mean that was perfect that you hopped in and said that, because I was about to segue over to what you kind of thought as a person that hasn't purchased the game yet, but you just kind of nailed it right there. You know,
Yeah.
you don't
Let
want
me
to
catch
hop
the
into
door. I'll be
something.
right back.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Obviously, somebody doesn't want to hop into something when they see everybody. A ton of people are really excited for this game, but there's several smart people out there that are like, you know what? Although I'm excited for this game, I'm still gonna wait to see what the perception is for it. And I'm one of those dumb guys that are like, fuck it, I'm jumping in. Let's go. and I mean, I made that mistake a few times last year, but those were with games I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy. I knew I was going to enjoy Jedi Survivor, so it made it. I'm not sure if it made it more painful or not. It was just a little bit more surprising seeing that I was looking forward to this game for quite some time now, and then I go to buy it, and I'm just like, this runs just awful. But on a brighter side, I want to talk about something a little bit more positive before we jump back into the negativity. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen it as of lately, but and I'm showing it over here so you guys can check it out and see it for yourselves. But what the hell is that? Okay, so whatever. But anyways, there's a new game that was announced not that long ago called Chrono Odyssey. Have you guys had a chance to check that out, look into it at all? I got it playing on the top left of the screen for you guys if you're interested in looking at that at all. But I mean, I'm telling you, that game looks really, really pretty. And it's supposed to be an MMO RPG.
It's an MMO RPG. Yeah. I was scoping this game out, and I played the first trailer that came out last year. It was last year, or it was 2020. I can't. Or I mean, it was 2021. I'm sorry. During one of the game shows last during the summer. And I was like, whoa, what is this? And then again, when you see all these trailers of games, time flies and then you forget about it. And then next thing you know, boom, it pops up out of nowhere. And that's kind of like what this Chrono Odyssey did. It just kind of popped up again. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I was looking and checking out this game and when it was going to come out, but it wasn't announced back then. Yeah, I'm very much excited about it. Now I did hear from some listeners that they said that they may not want to jump onto this game or maybe need to wait because it's supposed to be NFT field. So now I don't know. And so, but that's what they were saying. But if it does have the NFT, so for me, and I've made this, you've heard me say this beforehand, is that like, look, if it's not forced upon me to where I have an option where I have to buy an NFT or something like that, it's just the same thing to me as just like with getting content, DLC content or anything like that. If as long as there's an option, if they have into NFTs in there to where I don't have to purchase them or have to be put in a position to where I can't progress fine or if whatever, then I'm cool with it. But if it's something to where they have an angle to where they want to force you to get into it, then yeah, I'm going to have to sit back and look at that too. But the gameplay and everything about it looks absolutely fantastic. I've seen something that King David said in the chat. Shout out to him. I see Dirk Griggity. You know what I'm saying? Go share this out, guys. Let people know, man. Let people know Ham Solo is doing his thing, man. Big shout out
I'm
to
trying
him.
out here, man. I'm trying.
Yeah. You trying to do the Lord's work out there. You mess up sometime, but I but
That's a backhanded compliment like a motherfucker.
It was. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do
Back and
it.
I respect it, Megan. Keep it real, my friend.
Yeah, you just talked about you was over there at my mama's house. I mean, man, come on, man. But yeah, no, the game looks fantastic. I mean, King David did mention about Unreal Engine 5 and Unreal Engine and how that's causing a lot of problems with these games. I believe that game is made with Unreal, so that could be an issue as well going forward. Maybe another broken game. It's going to be massive, but I do have my eye on it, and I do want to play it. I mean, there's no question. It looks too damn good to not.
K-Meg, I like that you
up.
brought that up because a lot of people have been like, Matt, for instance, was talking about Unreal Engine. And he's like, dude, Ghostwire Tokyo. Look at the issues here. Look at look at the issues with just a lot of these Unreal games. And then some people say, well, how about Dead Island? That seems to run perfectly fine on Unreal. And it's like, bro, that was in development for like 10 years. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. You give any game a decade to be made, it better come out smooth, right? So that's kind of where my head was at with it. But like with this with this game that we were talking about, Chrono Odyssey, it looks just absolutely clean. It looks really clean. Matt, brother, from what you got to check out of it, what was your perception when you seen this game? Was it something that you think it's a day one, or you just need to see more information for it? Because for me, that's kind of where I sit. I'll continue to talk about what I think at my turn, but Matt, please let a brother know.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the trailer a few times. This latest trailer they just put out. I think visually it looks really good. But when I hear MMORPG, I'm just and it's like the thing for me is the thing that they're really focusing in on. I know that the thing that's being shared a lot online on Twitter at least isn't even really the gameplay. I just watched the trailer again, and the gameplay looks, kind of what I would expect. It looks good. But the thing that people seem to be sharing is like the GIF or the GIF, however you say that, whatever, of like the person walking through the grass, and the grass looks really good, and the lighting looks really good. It's like it's a really good looking game. It's a really good looking game. I don't think I'm gonna be playing it. MMORPG, I'm not really there for it. Plus, I didn't even hear about this whole NFT aspect. I really dislike that stuff in games. I genuinely dislike that game.
You turned Matt all the way off.
Dude,
I'm just going.
He's not the only one.
We'll see. But he said, to be fair, he said he doesn't know if that's true. So it's like maybe that's not true. Yeah, maybe that's not true. So I don't know. Right. But if that is true, then that pretty much, I just choose not to support it. Just my personal thing. That's all I'm saying. But like, even without that, the MMORPG thing doesn't really have me pumped. So yeah, looks cool though.
I'm gonna pit you in a corner real quick, Matt. Yeah. If they came out and Arcane had this fresh looking new game, and it actually ran really well, everything looked perfect. The gameplay was just prey like, but it had come on, bro. But it had NFTs.
No. I love Arcane, but no.
That's your favorite studio. You ain't going to support it?
Absolutely not. I'm not supporting that.
All right. And man has morals.
I'm not down with that. Not down with it.
All right.
Square. That's right.
Scrub Nurse, proud of you, brother. All right, so Scrub Nurse, I want to hear your breakdown, your thoughts on this Chrono Odyssey. What's been going on in your head with it? Is it something you're interested in? I know you're more of a first-person shooter kind of guy and stuff like that, but go on ahead and spit your bars.
We've been spitting out a bunch of 3-letter acronyms, and that sometimes will make me run away from games. One, MMO. Okay, so that's just going to take a lot of my life away, and I need some quick time. Like I said, I just signed off of work right before I got on here. But the next one is NFT. Boy, I swear to God, if anything NFT related in this game, I don't care if it's just a character. NFTs have been falling off for the last 2 years. Every gaming system game who says we're going to have NFTs in it, either the game never came out because there were so many problems, or their backers went out, or the NFTs they were once $1,000 are worth nothing now, or it's never going to be we're just going to use this. Your character is this, but we've got this money out of you for paying this character. We're not going to try to charge you any more money. Any game with NFTs around it is usually based around NFTs. So you get to one section, to the next section, to the
That's a
next
great point.
section, you have to have the new NFT, or you have to do mining to get to the next level. Or
Mm.
your NFT is basically a play to win situation. So if, like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but if you throw NFT to me in any game, it's a waste of time. Look at all
Yep.
these multimillionaires, these actors and actresses, or these YouTubers who have bought all these NFTs with these dead monkeys and with all this other stuff. They're
What's his
worth
name?
nothing.
That boxer dude. I forgot his name. The guy that pays people to box. Pretty much.
Oh,
Uh,
Logan Paul.
Logan
Logan
Paul.
Paul.
Oh yeah,
it was
Yeah,
either
Logan
Logan
Paul.
Paul or it
Yeah.
was his brother. I don't remember, but they
It
were
was
like
Logan.
heavy.
It was
They were
Logan.
heavy into NFTs,
Mhm.
and like
They
supposedly he
were.
owes a
Yeah.
bunch of people money and stuff now.
He has two games that he made with
Yeah,
NFTs, and neither one of them have come out. Um, they're all they're
it's a
all a quick
scam.
scheme. Yeah, there's a lot of these people on Twitter, like you had some of these even these porn stars. They get my NFT, and once everybody start dumping money into it, wait for it to come out. Rug pull, took all the money out, never came out. So I mean, this looks great. Like I said, I hope it works out, but if it has one NFT, I hope it crashes and burns because it's
Yep.
just
Hey.
Yep.
it's sucking people's money dry. We're already talking about how you have gambling and stuff in games, and how it's bad for kids, and how um, pay to win and stuff is just horrible for the gaming community. NFTs is just the next step in that, and it's gambling, speculation, and all of that all wrapped into one, and you're basing your whole game around just vaporware. So, that's my two
Mhm.
cents on it. I hope it does good, but if it got NFTs in it, no. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Brown
Good
said it
trailer
was
though.
Jake Paul. Looks like I looked it up, and Jake Paul did have some NFT
Is it
stuff
Jake?
going on.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. I wonder
yeah.
if
So
both of them do
I
too, because I
wouldn't.
remember Logan got in trouble for it too.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Both of
surprised.
them.
They're brothers. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
Right.
both of them.
Right. Yeah.
I would not be
They're trying to
surprised at all.
they're capitalizing on all this bread, man. I mean, hey, do what you got to do, but yeah. So
Yeah, I ain't mad
I
about
They're
the hustle,
doing
understand
but
that.
they're
I don't
doing
want
it.
Yeah,
no
I ain't mad
part
about
of
the
it.
hustle.
They are
I don't.
definitely doing it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
All right, so Chrono Odyssey, in my opinion, I think it looks phenomenal. It
Mm.
definitely draws really well, um, in the sense of pretty, especially when everybody's up especially with everybody being so frustrated about Redfall and talking about quality next gen releases. I
Right.
feel like this game came out
Mm.
and trailered itself very appropriately for the weather that is that is gaming right now. So I'm I'm interested to see what it's about, but I'm in the space where I just need to see more. I need to see like 5-10 minute gameplay of them just playing the game, and just seeing what it's all about and whatnot before I get anywhere into it
Exactly.
at all. So
I got
so
you. Some serious
anyways,
gameplay.
yeah, absolutely. But anyways, we're gonna get into the next topic at hand, and this is gonna be, this will be fun, I guess. We're going to be
Yeah.
talking
Mm.
all about our experience with Redfall so far. So I want to hear first, because I already kind of talked to Matt about it. We've talked a little bit earlier this week on on a game stream that I did with him
Yeah.
on playing Redfall and Hard Day's Mike as well. I want to hear first from Scrub Nurse, because I specifically invited you here for this date several weeks back because you said that you were really excited to play Redfall. Now,
Yep.
I'm not even going to
Hmm.
bother to ask if it exceeded your expectations, but did it hit any?
Um, when they said it will give you a taste of a kind of Far Cry, I see where they were looking in their vision of what the game is. It definitely gives me some of those elements of you're trying to save a town. Here's these different outposts. go fight here, take out the people there, open up a post, and now you can build and help save people. So on the premise of that, I think they tried. Um, there are a lot of problems with this game, issues that I don't think that are necessarily game breaking, but it's disappointing. And a lot of times when people you get hyped up for a game, especially if there's delays, there's extra wait time. There's rare it's going to be a game, a movie, or whatever coming out that your expectations are here, and then it reaches way above those expectations. It's a rarity. What makes me kind of iffy on the game, it is not a horrible game. First of all, I will say that starting out. It's not a horrible game. If you give me a number, I couldn't give it above a 6.5. Kind of where the scores are right now. For two main things. When you're going out through the different areas, there is a sense of it's kind of empty. Yeah, you discover areas as you go, but like even in a Far Cry, once you start opening up an area, you get these different viewpoints of here's a church over here, here's such and such McDonald's barn, go save them, or this. You have those in there. Redfall, their map, when you open up an area, there's just nothing on the map. You just have to walk into it and go, oh, wow, here is the church. And then you get more missions, which is fine. You want to make it seem more open world, make you have to explore, fine. The AI is not good at all. There are too many times where you can almost walk up on a vampire and tap them on the shoulder, and because they tell you in the game, they can hear your footsteps, so you do crouching, so it's less, and they won't move. You can stand right up to them, shoot them one time, and they might turn around, they might not for a second or two. Same with the people. When like if you die in a certain area, it's going to kick you all the way back to a spawn point or your main hub, and you have to walk. So like I said, if you want to keep your story going and not throwing you off, make sure you do not die. Go run away, hide. I see why when some of the people who were playing the game, first of all, previews were just running away, is probably because they were scared to fight and they didn't want to go all the way back. Because you go start back over, you still deal with some of the AI you just fought with, and it's still some of the dumb AI. Some of the humans you fight, they will stand in one line and just chase straight after you in one line. To me, those are the things. Because I was telling a friend, he plays on PlayStation, but he plays Xbox games on his PC, and we were going to also play together on co-op. I told him the AI is not good. It is dumb in most instances. Um, the open world is a little dry to me, but I have not played it in co-op yet. To me, this game is set up strictly for co-op. But then this is where you have your problems with the co-op. Only one person gets your progress. You might get loot, but only one person gets your progress. So then you're basically back to going to get your progress, running through the world on your own. So they had a good idea what they're doing. They just did not. They did not hit all points on what they need to make this game just, ooh, wow, great game. So
Fantastic point. I like what you said about the straight line with the enemies and whatnot. I'm definitely going to dig into that. I know Matt's going to dig into that because that's kind of a point of frustration, especially when you're using a character like Layla.
Yeah.
The way you get attacked. But before we get into that, I want to hear you, K Mega. You said that you got a chance to play it. I've seen that you posted some gameplay pictures and videos on Twitter and whatnot. So you've had sufficient amount of time to at least be able to speak on your impressions of the game so far. So go on ahead.
All right. So the one thing that I noticed, because I played it solo first, was how bad the AI was. And I came in and
It's
yeah, the
terrible.
AI was atrocious.
yeah, it's very bad.
And once you get to a certain point of like the intro was really hot, kind of gave you like, okay, well, then, all right, I'm ready
Hmm.
for it. And then you get out there and you see the water trapped and everything that looks really good, and then you get out and see the sunbeam, and you get out and then you walk a little further, and then when you're trying to sneak up on somebody, they're just like they might turn around right there, and instead of having the noise that you would hear on Metal Gear Solid, the wink, they just kind of look at you like, who are you? Then you punch them and then they're dead, and I'm like, what the hell? This is. And so and then you go there, and so then we get to the fireplace. There's a lot of things that you got to do. You go through there. And the one thing that I have noticed though is that when you're playing, because I played it co-op and I played it single player. Single player, you have more. You have more of a story. You got more things that you need to do. And while in co-op, it's kind of let's not slow down. Let's not go and look for 2-3 different things to turn the firehouse on. Let's just go ahead and kill this vampire, turn the switch, and let's keep it rolling. Which I think for like somebody when I was playing with my boy Predator, he's let's go. I want to kill things. I want to kill things. I want to kill things. Now, the one thing that I think a lot of people is made that maybe don't realize this is that the game is tethered. And you're right, the game is more set, and I see why they had the always online aspect on it. Because the game is tethered for how many people play, and the AI gets progressively stronger and smarter the further you get into the game. And to the point to where, we're wiping them, and now all of a sudden, what? I got killed? So like, and then what you're making a point about, like, there's, and the game doesn't really give you any type of hints. The game just kind of like, get out there and just do what you can do. Now, I don't have a problem with that because I had to learn with Elden Ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, boy. So, you go one way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how like the game works. So they don't tell you like this thing right here, which is a monument, is actually a checkpoint. So if you see these little bear thing monuments, you hit that, it's a checkpoint. So you don't have to go all the way back to where your last save point was. You can go right there and start from that place. Like I said, the AI gets progressively better the more that you play. It's just that I'm thinking with a lot of people, and especially with reviewers, because they got exposed. They're playing this game on easy, and they're playing this game on the regular difficulty. The best way to play this game to get to see more NPCs is on Midnight. There's another mode. There's another difficulty, but it's blocked until I guess you beat the game.
Right.
And I think Midnight should been the standard, regular, normal mode, because there are more NPCs out there. Because it wasn't a mistake. It was actually something we kind of stumbled upon. When I played with other people the first time, I didn't put it on Midnight, the Midnight setting. And I was like, whoa, hold on. There's nobody out here. Now I see what they're talking about is this desolate. There's nobody here. Like, I'm like, man, I walked all the way from the fire station all the way to the drugstore, or it's the gun shop or whatever that little shop was. And there was only 2 NPCs that I could kill. There was no vampires. There were nothing. While when I was playing solo and I was playing on Midnight, when I went into that store area, there was 3 vampires. There was like 8 to 10 NPCs that I had to kill just in that area. And then for me getting there, there was vampire, because it turns from nighttime to daytime. And in nighttime, there's vampires that kind of just hover and just sit out. And then you can shoot them, or you can try to sneak up on them, whatever the case may be. And then daytime, they're not out there as frequent, but they're sleeping inside homes, or they're into businesses. So the first thing I would tell people is to play the game on Midnight to get some better AI. And with me saying all that, the AI is still dumb as hell. So with me saying that, the AI is still dumb as hell, and the bugs are glaring. The one thing that I will say though, the 30 frames per second versus the 60 frames per second, this is a smooth 30 frames per second to where
Yes.
nobody that
Yes.
was playing was complaining about the movement within the game. Now I don't know what Ham is going to say, and I don't know what Matt's going to say, but for me and for everybody else that was playing it, because I played it on Xbox and then I played it on my PC to see both experiences, is that the game runs fine. And what's the thing that makes and break the game is not the 60 versus 30 frames per second. It's the bugs and the $70 price tag. And if they could quickly get that fixed, then they might have an opportunity to salvage the game. But I do see the potential, and the game is fun as hell to play, especially with friends, man. There's just no question about it. If people can go ahead and talk about Star Wars Survivor and how fun that is, knowing how much of a broken mess that game is, people can say the same thing about Redfall, in my opinion.
And I will say too that the bugs are depending on who you're at. I really didn't have any bugs or weird things happening or folks sliding down, moonwalking downstairs, but
Can't
I
wait
did
till
get
me and
kicked
Matt go.
back. Yeah,
Oh no,
I got
seen
kicked to the
him
home
doing the hammer
screen.
dance. I did see him.
Yeah.
I seen him doing the hammer dance a couple of
So
times, but yeah.
it just depends on where you are and what it is. But yeah, the game, because the movement is so fast with your walking and the 30-second frame per second on Xbox Series X, it wasn't really like, oh man, I gotta have it. And I play first person at 120 frames other games, and I wasn't like, man, this is so jittery, my eyes can't take it. So it's a fallacy
Agreed.
on that.
All right. Well, Matt, I'm after hearing what these two had to say, I'm excited to hear what you have to say because me and you have had different experiences with the game.
Let's hear
So,
it.
so Matt,
Sure
hashtag let them know.
So this game, just like Jedi Survivor, is unbelievably broken. And I say this as someone, Arcane is my favorite studio, hands down. It's not even close. It's not even a question. Like, they're my favorite studio. This game needed at least another year. Just my experience playing the game, I'm playing it. It's fun. The fun is there. It's just the package that it is in is full on broken. It's either broken, which it is, or not finished, which it is. It's both of those things. Where it's like you guys mentioned the AI. The AI, I don't feel this game was designed for the AI to be that stupid. There's no possible way that they designed this game
No.
with
No.
AI being that stupid in mind. They did not do that.
No.
And people like to say, well, Deathloop had dumb AI. It did. But the dumb AI in Deathloop was fun. It was like they ran at you. The dumb AI in Deathloop was kind of like an old Call of Duty game where the enemy AI just, there's no real strategy. They just bombard you and you mow them down. On this game, they don't even really bombard you. They just kind of stand there. I've recorded multiple clips of just walking up to enemy AI. This is the normal difficulty, by the way. Just walking up to normal AI, and I just sit there. I shoot them maybe once in the leg or something, and they don't do anything for about 5, 6, maybe 7 seconds. Then they shoot at you. It's like they'll stand at you. They'll stand in front of you like 2 feet and not shoot you for like 10 seconds. It's broken. There's no way they meant to ship a game that feels like that. And now we also I want to bring up the visuals because people like Arcane has a visual style and people are using that to like rip on this game. Now, I think the visual style for Arcane in this game is there. The problem, again, it goes back to the fact that it's not finished. There's multiple moments in this game where you can, when you go into the fire station in the first area, you walk in that fire station, you look down. If you're on, which is funny, if you're on Series X or PC, doesn't matter what settings you're playing at on PC. If you're on Series X or PC, if you walk into that fire station, you look down on the floor, that fire station logo is not loaded in. It's not loaded in. It's just a blurry mess. Funny enough, if I'm playing on my Series S, it loads in just fine. Again, it's just things that are broken in the game that aren't working the way they should be working. it just makes the game. I don't know. It's frustrating as an Arcane fan because it's like this is the most accessible an Arcane game's ever been. Like launching in Game Pass day and date, no Arcane game really sells great. Their games are more niche. So it's like this is the most accessible it's ever been, and this is a lot of people's first experience with an Arcane game, and that really bums me out. That really bums me out because it's like the fun is there, but I wouldn't blame anybody if they turned it on, ran into a bug, and said I'm out. Because speaking of bugs, me and Ham were playing the other night, and there was like a progress stopping bug where we were, what was that mission? We were like in that mansion.
The dollhouse.
We had to, with the dollhouse, you had to be in front of the dollhouse to progress the mission. No matter what we did, we were all in front of the dollhouse. All our names were checked off. We could not progress the mission. We had to close the game, open it back up, load back in, restart the mission, do all the stuff again, then go back to the dollhouse, and then we could progress. It's like stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. It's
remember,
not
I jumped off.
No,
we all jumped off the cliff simultaneously to try to like to try to maybe like reload that area or something.
Yeah.
Hoping that would work. And what had happened is we all jumped off at the same time. Mike and Matt loaded back in. I was supposedly there, but my screen was completely black. And it took a long time for me to respawn back in. So it like just showed me like just dropping through the level for like a hot second. It was something. Matt, you got anything else to say, or do you need me to poke? Because I know something else that you would like to talk about that you haven't brought up yet. So I can poke.
I wonder if it's is it performance?
No.
Okay.
No,
well,
it is a little thing called the scroll.
Oh yeah,
game. Yeah. Oh man.
So scrolling menus you're talking about?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm one thing I hate in games, and it's been a trend ever since I think the first time I saw it was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Actually, it was in Origins as well, to be fair. But it's this thing whenever you pause the game or you're at the main menu or whatever, Destiny does it as well, where instead of just being able to select something in the menu, you have to scroll to it. Now, granted, in Redfall, you can just hit the D-pad and it'll go to things, but it's like by default you are using a cursor on console. To me, that is dumb.
Cyberpunk does it too.
Yeah. Cyberpunk, another game. It's one of the dumbest design. I've never understood that. Like on PC, it makes sense. Fine, do whatever you want there because a cursor makes sense. But on console, I've got buttons. I've got a D-pad. I've got let me just use the buttons. It doesn't make any sense. Why I would have to use a cursor to navigate my menu on console. That's just a pet peeve. But I also wanted to say one final thing about performance. Like, I don't know your guys' experience. It sounds like you guys have had fine experiences. 30 FPS, it's smooth because of the motion blur, but there are times I've noticed multiple times, especially on Series X, that if I go to stake a vampire, that frame rate will drop like tank, like to what almost feels like a slideshow, like 10, 15 FPS. Yeah, when you stake a vampire and all the particles go everywhere, there's tons of the colors. It's like that will tank the FPS really hard. And I just think all of these issues that I'm bringing up go back to the game not being finished. I feel like there's no reason, visually speaking, at its best, this game can't run at 60 FPS. I wouldn't be surprised if they're willing to put in the work and the time to fix it, that we don't get a 120 FPS mode on this. It's
I
just
agree with that. Yeah.
It's just I think right now it's not optimized well enough. And Phil Spencer said it in his interview, which we'll talk about later, but just one point. You know, he said they didn't take responsibility and go in, let Arcane communicate with the coalition, with Ninja Theory, with teams that have experience using Unreal Engine. I feel like if they did that, this would have launched fine. This would have launched fine. It still might have reviewed 75 to 80. People would have hated it. People would have loved it. It would have been in that area. But like,
Would have been a normal
It's-
arcane game.
yeah. Well, no, a normal arcane game is like an 89. We're close.
No,
to
I'm
the
just talking
90s.
about the love-hate relationship about.
Oh yeah, it's true. But like, yeah, it would have been just a normal game targeting a relatively niche group of players, and that would have been fine. But it's just the way it launched is why it's reviewing the way it's reviewing. It's why the issues are there, and I don't know. I could keep going, but Ham, go ahead.
All right, my turn. My turn.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I streamed this game day one, moment one, when it first dropped in the
Yep.
Game Pass. I was excited to stream it. I had some technical difficulties go on with my stream because every game makes you log into this Bethesda.net or Activision or whatever. Like every single game has you sign up for I don't know
Something.
why. They're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we need to see the diagnosis of the game. And it's just like, you should diagnose the game before you give it to me. but anyways, yeah. So when I first turned on the game, I was on PC, and I have, just to give you a little bit of clarity, I have a 3800X, 3080 GPU, 16
PC
gigs
peasants.
of RAM. I'm what I would call set for a game like this to be able to at least run, 14,
that game's
yeah, high settings, maybe even epic.
Yeah, high
in
setting.
some.
Yeah. No, definitely epic. Yes, no doubt.
So
For this game, yeah.
So being able to see that and then turning on to the game and being like, oh, okay, I see in the top corner of, because I have the the game bar for PC or whatnot, and you can pin to show the FPS, GPU, CPU, VRAM, all that stuff. I had it pinned on there, and I'm like, this is wild. Like my GPU's like in the 30s, like the CPU's in the 10. The VRAM has lost its fucking mind. Like, what, like what's going on here? I turn on the game and start playing it, and I'm just like, like it's 70 for like 10 solid seconds, and then it just tanks to 30, and then shoots back up to 70, and then goes for another like 15 seconds, and then tanks to 25. And it's just like happens consistently over and over and over. And I was like, is this just me? Is it my game setup and whatnot? Alex at a Digital Foundry. Whether you love Digital Foundry or hate them, they usually have some pretty good things to reference within their videos. He showed himself playing it, and he then put up a picture onto Twitter and whatnot showing that no matter what your settings are, if you have a 4090, 2070, whatever, if you have the specs that are able to play this game, you are dropping at the same exact time pretty much that everybody else is, no matter how powerful your PC is. And it's insane. So a great reference to this, other than, Alex from Digital Foundry, let's talk about Keosante. We all know he's lost his freaking mind. He bought the top end of the top end of the top end for everything on his PC. And he's just like, and he said, I had to play it on my Xbox.
Yep.
So think about that. This is a person that spent like upwards of maybe $5+ on a PC that can't run Redfall. That is insane to me. And then on top of it, I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm gonna play it on my Xbox instead. Yes, the 30 FPS performance was smoother. I'll give it that. Like is just more consistent. Is easier to play. A lot less frustrating. And unlike Mike, I didn't have to say, dude, this is pissing me off. I'm shutting off the game. Because that's what Mike said after he played it for a while. Because he pretty much plays all his games on PC at this point. And yeah, we're all playing it together. And there'd be certain moments where the person I'm fighting, their health bar would just disappear.
Yeah.
Just gone now. You're not seeing it anymore. at all. It's gone. Matt's talking about the little scroll thing right under his reticle. After getting out of the pause menu, he has to move it to the corner of the screen to continue to play the game. Like he said earlier, we got trapped in that one mission. I'm walking up behind enemies, getting ready to do a stealth attack. And you know what the stealth attack is? Punch him in the ass, and he dies.
Lower spine. Paralyzed.
Lower spine.
Apparently, I'm freaking Steven Seagal out here, just giving people one hit maneuvers, and then they're done. like the game is just, it just doesn't work the way it should. The enemy AI is just, like Matt said, it's just ridiculous in it. Watching a video of his, which Matt did a video earlier talking about just like the last couple weeks of Xbox and how that's been going and check Matt's channel out, Matt Likes Games. But he did a video and he was playing as Layla, and he made a very, very awesome point, which I thought he was going to bring up just a little bit ago, but he didn't. So all these enemy AI, he was like sitting in front of like 4 enemies. Only one of them were shooting at him. The other ones were talking shit, but just standing there. He's sitting with Layla, and you assume, oh crap, there's 4 people, or there's a lot of people around me. I don't know how many. Maybe this is a good time to use my special.
Yes.
Pulls out the umbrella for Layla, right? The umbrella pops out. This man collects about 4 shots. Because Layla's thing is to shoot back the shots that were shot to you.
Yep.
Right.
How are you supposed to use her special if nobody's shooting at you?
It takes like one of the coolest, or what could be the coolest character in the game, and basically makes her, or at least that ability, kind of useless. It just makes it kind of useless. And again, that's just real quick. That's why I say it's not finished. There's no way they designed that game or that place like that character to have that kind of useless ability. Like that's a really cool ability.
Now,
before you continue, K-Mega, Matt got this special gun, and he was like, "Oh man, this is dope. This is the gun that I seen in the commercial,
dude."
And he's like, "Dude, look at the reload. Look at the reload." And I guess like in the commercial, Layla does some like weird reload with the shotgun where she doesn't actually even touch it.
Yeah, it's from the very first trailer. Whenever they kill the vampire in the, I don't even know, it's like a laundromat or whatever. They kill that vampire. They're walking through the window, the shattered window, and Layla's holding a shotgun, and she reloads it just without even touching it, like with just her fucking mind, I guess. I don't know what she's doing, but it looks really cool. And the animation, the telekinesis, and it looks really cool on my screen. Like my first-person view of this looks awesome, and I'm trying to show him. And to him, it just looks like I'm reloading.
Matt looked like a regular grunt. He was just taking the bullets and just stuffing it in.
Yep.
And I was just like, man, like you're over here trying to show me something that's off of a commercial, and I can't even see it. Like this is, in my opinion, just so just not finished. It's a fun game. I didn't put almost 20 hours into a game because I was just like, man, this is hot garbage. I can't have fun with this. It was not like that. I was having a good time, and also I'm kind of I coined the new term co-op slut. I'm kind of a co-op slut. I'm always looking for co-op games to play with the homies and stuff like that. Love it.
Yeah.
It's such a great time. So even if a game isn't,
hit me up to run with one some.
Even if a game isn't like a high 80s, 70s, or something like that, if it has a co-op element that keeps me engaged, it's pretty fun. But it is really weird in that game how, I believe Scrub Nurse was talking about this just a little bit ago, how it feels like you'll run across the city and like maybe kill 5 people. You'll run across the complete city and then I get it, it's daytime or something. So there's not going to be, I guess there won't be a crazy amount of vampires out. I don't know. I'm just guessing off of, remembering like movies like Blade and stuff like that, the Daywalkers, and stuff like that. So like I'm assuming the vampires are inside or something like that. But during the time that the vampires may be inside, why am I not just getting punished by a crap ton of ground soldiers?
Right.
Why do I have to look for 10 minutes and I have to call out my my little character? I have that robot. I'm using Remy, right? So I have the robot and it goes out there and it makes the alert noise where to pretty much call the enemies over. And I'll hear enemies talking in the distance. I'll put out the thing to call the enemies over and nothing happens. And then I walk around the corner and I start getting shot. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here? So it's just, this game could have, I'm not going to say it could have been like high caliber. I think Matt was right when he said that they kind of misrepresented or what do you want to say about that, Matt?
The game.
Thank you. Pretty much
the game.
Yeah, the marketing for this, the way this was marketed was like it's the next big thing for Xbox. And I think even if it wasn't broken, even if it was fully functioning, fully 100% complete, it would be a fun game. It'd be a really fun game, but it would not be the next big thing for Xbox. Like,
no, it's not a system seller.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the next big thing is Starfield. This is not of that caliber. And it was being marketed in such a way that it would make you think that it was. Plus the $70 price tag doesn't help this game. This shouldn't cost more than $40.
$40 and there's content creators that overhype this game.
Yes, true, 100%.
To and that to me is a problem. Now,
and here's the thing: I was one of them because I was so like I said, I love Arcane, and the way it was marketed, I was thinking this is going to be like this big special thing, and it's not that. So I mean, I was wrong. But it's like you kind of misled all of us. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree on that. My thing was this: is that look, I dropped gameplay on my channel about almost 2 hours of gameplay, and so like hearing what you guys are talking about, what you're going through, I didn't get that experience with the co-op. I got that experience when I played. I got that experience at the beginning when I was explaining that we had it on normal settings where it was desolate and there was nobody out there. When we had it on midnight, and then when we got further, all you got to do is, you see what I'm saying? Like,
no. Here's something I want to bring up to you, K Mega, that I completely forgot about. Sometimes, I'm not sure how many times you got it. Maybe you didn't get it at all, but the balancing of levels in that game is just busted. It's
they're busted.
They're so busted. Like if you
Xbox had got to level 6, I was still at like level 2. So yeah, no. You're right.
Well, but what I'm saying is like I was like the lowest level, or wait. No. Well, I was the lowest level, but I was still within like a couple levels of everybody else.
Right.
We were running around. And it felt like literally one bullet was killing everything.
Yeah.
And we even turned it up to the hardest difficulty, and it was still like that.
Now that changed up. That's why I was trying to explain.
Because I remember we quit the game like 3 separate times, right, Matt?
Yeah.
And we adjusted the difficulty, and then we said, screw it, let's hop into Matt's game because he's a little bit further, and it was still broken, and then it just randomly fixed itself.
Yep.
Yeah. No, see that is like I said, all you got to do is go and check out what I posted on my channel. Not trying to give myself a plug. I'm just wanting people to get a perspective of what I played with, and how the game worked for us. I was the host, but for me, and I'm sure for Nurse, his experience, because he agreed kind of with what I was saying, like the thing seems to not be as bad as what you guys are. And I'm not taking away, because the game still does have the issues that you were saying to some degree. I didn't get as many issues as what you guys had. But the problem is that I wonder if it's a server issues is on top of the game being broken and not fixed. I wonder if it's like what even what Phil alluded to was that, look, we didn't have Coalition and Ninja Theory to get there to help them in time. And then, because that's on me for not letting them get there in time to fix the game properly. I think overall, and I know that we'll get into the whole Phil conversation, but what I think is where the big issue is overall is that there's too much. There's a little bit of this trust factor of
Too much.
what did this person tell you how this game played, instead of going out there and checking out yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, and Phil alluded to that, is that like, it's kind of like with the Halo Infinite situation where Bonnie Ross would go and talk to whoever's in charge of Halo Infinite and say, how was the game? And then these people would lie or whatever and say, the game is good. The game is good. Hurry up. Let's get it fixed before this and that happens. And then Phil contact Bonnie, and Bonnie is like, they say the game is good. Everything is all well, or she just comes out and says the game is really good. And that's bad management. And I think the same thing has happened with what's called, because regardless, yes, you could blame Phil Spencer and the people that's in charge of that Q&A and all that, but also Arcane and ZeniMax, who's ever in charge of ZeniMax, they also should be held responsible for this as well, because you can't come out here and say this game it just goes straight to this one source. It seems like it was a whole ladder of people that had that let this just slide and just went off of the trust factor of like, oh, they're going to tell me that this game is good, and in all actuality, they're probably just trying to hurry up and get this game out and get it as polished as possible, and probably hoped that gamers would give it some grace because of the fact of what we talked about on GRG was
grace plus Xbox. That's just not good call, man.
No, and that's the thing. PlayStation and Nintendo can get away with this. I mean, hell, Pokemon is still broken. It's still broken. That Pokemon game is still broken today. It dogged walk God of War in sales, and nobody's really talking about that. But with Xbox, they don't get the grace that the big three does. They just won't, and rightfully so. You don't come out here and ask for $70 and then expect gamers to be satisfied with the product that you delivered. We all admitted that the game is fun, but that's still not good enough to warrant $70 for this product. It's just not.
Yep.
It's not.
100%.
Well, I think
Hi-Fi Rush is fun, and I had no problem buying that for $30. It was totally worth it. Totally worth it. This is not worth 70.
Yeah.
I was actually saying that to Matt. I was like, this game, if this game was working completely properly, it's still a $50 game.
Yes. 100%.
I would go 60. I would go 60.
I'd go 50. I'd go 50 just for the fact that it's just first of all, like we were saying earlier, it's just marketed just way heavy to the point where we thought it was going to be the game to really hold us off until like Starfield, not the game to make us question Starfield at all. But speaking of questioning things, I wanted to hop into the next topic because I feel like we really got all over Redfall pretty well right there. So with that being said, we've all seen
thank God for Game Pass.
Facts.
Yeah, shout out to Game Pass.
Yeah, definitely.
Game Pass.
Big time. So just to kind of, I mean, I'm assuming all of us have seen like the recent interview with Phil Spencer and Kind of Funny. He laid out quite a bit of statements that had some people pretty shook within the industry. Me, in particular, I'm going to go first on this one. I thought what he said was a lot of what I kind of heard before, but like the demeanor was different. And like the frustration was very evident. And like, I don't know about you guys, and call me silly or call me stupid or call me, you know, the guy that likes to, you know, be insane because he keeps, you know, hoping, you know, the insane thing when you're like, you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. Call me that if you want to. But when I see somebody as passionate and as frustrated as that, I become a little like, I'm for you. I'm for you, man, because I see that like you're passionate about it, you're frustrated about it. You didn't handle it properly, but you owned up to it.
Yes.
And I mean, for goodness sakes, how many times have we seen Jim Ryan come out and own up to anything that they have possibly done?
You don't.
How many times have we seen like Bowser or any of the guys over at Nintendo?
Hell, we don't even know who is in charge of Nintendo because we don't see.
Yeah, I don't know who's in charge. If you ask me who's in charge of Nintendo, I don't know.
We don't.
I don't know. I remember Reggie, but Reggie's gone.
Yeah,
but
Reggie's
like,
not there.
I don't know. I don't know who it is.
So you see what I'm saying? Like, how many people in? I mean, let's just take gaming away and just say just high caliber companies that have to really, you know, appease the world essentially, right? So like, how many times have we seen somebody of that caliber hop up and say something like that? We've seen Phil Spencer apologize before, but I've never seen him so like he made it seem like, or at least he gave the he gave the idea that this is unacceptable and this is like flat out the last time. It has to be the last time. Is what he made me feel like this has to be the last time. And he's sick and tired of it. I want to hear what you have to say first about it, K-Man, because I know you've been mustering. You've been you've been ready to spit your stuff. You said last night when we were talking, you're like, you might have to bring back the, what'd you say?
The messy mega, release the Kraken.
Yeah, okay. So let's get messy for a little bit. Let K-Man go on ahead.
Let's get messy. All right. This is what defines a leader, in my opinion. And obviously there's a lot of people that don't really know about leadership, because if you are going to talk shit about somebody that is standing up and owning all and taking all of the brunt of and all of the brunt of what's going on with this game and the problem with this game, or if the problem with anything with Xbox, regardless, that's fine. Even the CMA situation, the man stood there and took it. Jim Ryan had to be in controlled situations to have controlled interviews, or he just shuts up and put his head in the sand, and so does their fan base. If anybody speaks out, and this is an absolute truth, if anybody speaks out about something about PlayStation within the PlayStation community, they get shut the hell up, and you can't, or they get reprimanded. This interview was set before all of this bad shit happened. Think about that. And like those guys, it kind of funny told him, it's like, you could have backed out, Phil, but you came in here like a real one. If anybody looks at that and says that is failure, or is that is being timid, or is that is being lackadaisical, then like, again, you don't know anything about leadership. You don't know anything about ownership. All of you've done is just sit there and cowered the whole entire time. That's just me being factual about that. The man was pissed. I've never seen Phil Spencer look like that in an interview, like you said, Ham. It was damn sure, like, the man wanted to cuss. Remember at the one point when he sat there and says, "There's some things I want to say."
He's like, I call it another thing. I call it something.
Yeah, I call it. Yeah, bro. And usually when people talk around Phil and stuff like that, they don't be cussing. They don't be doing all that. Man, Phil didn't give two shits about any of that. He was all about like, bro, I'm tired. He was on the thing. And shout out to the Kind of Funny guys, because they asked all the perfect questions. Every last bit, every last question was spot on, direct, proper. So nobody can give the excuse that Phil Spencer did not stand up there and answer those questions or give PR speech. There was a couple of things that he wanted to get a little deep in, and he backed off. We're talking about dev stuff and all that other thing, because he was that pissed that he wanted to break it down for you of why this is like this is, why I'm trying to do things this way and this is not going this way. He wanted to really get into full detail, but he knew he didn't have enough time, and he had to reel himself back in. Another fact, like when people talk about, well, they need a dog out there, they need a pit bull. If you didn't see the pit bull in Phil Spencer with that speech, the man's demeanor said it. He wasn't faking that. He was pissed. He is tired, and he said it himself. I'm just ad-libbing this. Like, I'm tired of Xbox having a moment of where we step 10 steps forward, and then we got to go 20 steps back because of some dumb shit. I'm tired of it. He's basically, it ain't happening again. He says, we're going to reevaluate. We're getting Matt Booty. We're getting some lady I never heard before and other people in the team, and we're going to sit down and fix this. No more of this garbage. Now, does this mean that there won't be another broken game that comes out or something or a game that doesn't live up to expectations? No, because that's just not.
He addressed that. He said,
hey,
if we're not screwing up every once in a while and hitting games in the 60s and whatnot, we're not really in the game business.
We're not doing it exactly, and
we're not taking risks.
Go with that. Yeah, he says, you guys over here talking about creative freedom. We need creative freedom. He gave you that. Now y'all back over here talking about Phil needs to be over there hands-on. Remember when Phil did start over and he got in hands-on, and then people were like, see, y'all forcing Halo, you forcing 343 not to make anything outside of Halo. You're forcing the Coalition not making everything outside of Gears. And then you get in there, he gets these they're not bringing in new IP. So he says, hell with the middleman. I'm cutting out the deals with the second party deals, because they all failed. Every last second party deal failed him failed Xbox gamers to some degree, except for the earlier games like Quantum Break or whatever. But when you look at Crackdown 3, Scalebound, even I love Recore, but Recore didn't get advertised enough, all that other stuff. There was still all these other second party deals. So he says, we're gonna cut out the middleman. We're gonna buy it. We're gonna buy things up. We're just gonna buy it, and we're gonna acquire it, and then we're gonna work on it. And then people ask to have creative freedom and have hands off. People ask less crunch and all this other shit. All of this is they're trying to listen to a fan base, and then the fan base reverts themselves and want them to go back to the way that they were. To me, it's kind of like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. And I think that this man is now at the point to where it's like, I'm going to just do this shit my way. And we're going to, because he normally does not make a snapback, like you said, Ham, where he tells you, we're not doing our job if we don't give these developers the creative freedom that they want. This is the reason why we did Game Pass. This is the reason why we did this and that. The other point, the big point to where everybody said that Xbox is thrown in the towel, which I find to be asinine, is that Xbox is, and I said this a million times, where Xbox, and I'm not the only one that said it, King David has said it as well, and others. Xbox can win the mind share without outselling PlayStation or Nintendo in consoles, because of what they're doing with the cloud and what they're going to be doing with Game Pass. Because consoles people are capped. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 6, PlayStation 7 will never sell as much as the PlayStation 2. That is a guarantee. The Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo, whatever the new Nintendo is going to be, is not going to outsell the first NES. It will never catch up to those sales. Consoles are capped, and Xbox is somewhere between 60 to 90 million consoles. They can't even beat the competition. So what makes you think that they're going to reach 2 billion gamers off of a console platform that, like Phil Spencer said, is in third place? It ain't happening. We have to take another angle, another approach. This reminds me of 2016. Not of all the other stupid shit that was going on when I was out there talking, like, look, this is a good thing for Xbox to put games on PC. This bring more games to the platform. Also, don't be surprised if PlayStation doesn't do the same. I got called everything but the child of God when I said those things. everything. Never got an apology once PlayStation decided to make that move. When they talked about Game Pass, I said Game Pass doesn't have. I said things is going to change. Trust me, the Game Pass is just getting started. Xbox doesn't have a strong portfolio right now. Wait till these games start going forward, and wait to see what Xbox does with these studios. Are they going to acquire something? Are they going to do something? Next thing you know, 2018, probably the best E3 Xbox has had was where they bought all them goddamn studios and shut the internet down. But nobody didn't come back and say, "Oh, nigga, you was right on that." Except a couple of people, man, appreciate it. The point of the matter is that.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
No, yeah, I'm about to finish right here. The whole thing about what Phil was making this point to, alluding to, is that we as consoles are not irrelevant, but consoles is not going to get us to where we want to be. It is cloud gaming, it is Game Pass, and it's also the consoles because all three entities. When you say Xbox brand, are you talking about just one particular thing, or are you talking about a group of things? Ham, what your channel? You got They Said, We Said. You have your other stuff that you do. You have them sticks. Would you just say when you talk about the Ham Solo brand, is it just They Said, We Said, or is it everything as a collective of what you do?
I see what you're saying. You're saying, is it just like behind them sticks or bullshitting or no? It's not. It's a package deal.
Yes, it's a package deal.
Like one thing may get more attention than another, but it's the whole package that makes my channel what it is. If it was just behind them sticks, then I'd just name the whole channel Behind Them Sticks. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. I mean, and last point, PlayStation did it as well. When PlayStation changed their logo to PlayStation Studios, people were like,
from what, 989?
Cool. No. Just recent. Well, about 4
years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they changed their. And Jim.
I thought you were going way back.
No. I won't go way back. I'm just going recent back because a lot of people like I said, people got the mindset of a honeybee. The memory is a honeybee. They don't think too far past today. So again, I'm just going a couple of years back. And Jim Ryan said we changed our logo so we want other people to see the games that we present with and present it with our logo, with our new logo. I knew right there. I said, "Oh, they're gonna put their shit on. They're gonna start putting their games on PC." Other people was like, "Mega, you're talking stupid. You ain't gonna do that." And then next thing you know, here they go acting a fool. It is gaming has now evolved into something that's past the old men that's on this tape, that's sitting on this podcast, and for the listeners that may be around our age or maybe older or maybe a little bit younger. The time and era of the console to where it is the first and foremost is not here anymore. That time is past. And also with PlayStation, they're a brand. I mean, are you going to just say it's all about the PlayStation console, but then you're going to sit there and support their movies, their video game movies, the Vita, the PlayStation VR 2? All of that is the PlayStation brand. All of what Nintendo do is part of their brand. It's not just one entity. It is a plethora of. I try to bring up a big word and I messed it up. Let me be country. I try to be cute with it. I'm sorry, guys.
Plethora.
Prefla, yeah, whatever. I tried it. It was about to flow, but I messed up. Yeah, Prefla. Okay, but anyway, there's a whole thing. There's a whole piece. There's a whole big part of this, and there's slices to it. It's not just one thing. And that's the whole thing. I took it for what Phil is like. Look, man, we are taking another step with this. We're doing what we're supposed to do, and it shouldn't be a problem with it. We just have to do what we have to do, man. And I big kudos, not only to, like I said, to the people that asked the questions, but to everything else that Phil said, because that just showed just great leadership. And I'm glad that the people within Xbox, like Sarah Bond and others, are out there standing behind it. I think that this boosted the morale, maybe not of some Xbox gamers, but it boosted the morale from the people from Xbox itself. And I think that that's going to be something that's going to light a fire for all these people. Like, we got to do better.
To your point, K Mega, I mean, you just said, like, Phil said it himself, like, we can't with the state that we're in, we can't just be, overly reliant on one thing. We've seen that with Google Stadia, over reliant on one thing. It was fantastic. Nobody can deny how good Stadia actually was.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds you of what Phil just said. Like, we can be really good at coming out with games, but that probably won't change our pole position.
No, he said the Xbox One era doomed that idea.
Yeah, that digital library.
The digital library, because just think about this for a second. I know, I'm sorry I said I was done, but this is another point.
Good.
I don't know if anybody else is going to bring it up. Is think about what could have been if people allowed Xbox to do what they wanted to do by sharing with 10 friends. Games. Remember when they was doing that when they first came out? Was like, hey, look, we have this new thing where we game share, and you can pick up to 10 friends to game share with. Do y'all remember that during the Xbox One?
Oh yeah,
When they said that,
Mhm.
and then people started acting the fool, talking about the DRM, and they didn't want
Yes.
that, and it shouldn't be about TV. Resolute 1080p is much more important. I don't want TV on my console. I want my console to be a console. They ripped that shit out. If they kept that previous, this was the first set for Game Pass, but we didn't know it then. So what they did is that they changed up, and then they made Game Pass what it is now, because they're going with they went another direction. But if they had the opportunity to have 10 friends to be playing all the same games together, Xbox One ecosystem would have been a lot more, a lot bigger, and people would have just already just gravitated to it. And PlayStation probably would have damn sure still probably won the generation. But the fact of it is that Xbox gamers themselves demanded something else, and that helped set back the Xbox One on top of everything else that happened, and PlayStation just ran away with it. And Xbox can't recover that. The digital age and consoles belong to PlayStation and Nintendo. That's just the fact on console.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And K Mega, you didn't come up short at all. You definitely spit your bars. You did exactly
Thank you, sir.
what I thought you were gonna do once I unleashed the beast. Golly,
Unleash the
goodness
Kraken,
gracious.
baby.
It will
Oh, my
continue. It will continue
Yes.
on K Mega's show later on today. K Mega's channel.
Oh no, I'm not doing GRG tonight.
You're not doing GRG tonight?
No.
I'm free.
You're free. I got things I got to do. It's still stuff to set up and everything like that. So I can't do GRG tonight, unfortunately.
Yatta! I'm good. Let's go.
Hit me up for some gaming later on tonight, though, if you want.
Oh yeah, me and Matt might have to hit you up for some Redfall. See where you're at.
I'm
We
with
might need
that.
to catch
I'm
up
with that.
because we running through some things, man. We running through.
Oh well, I'm with that. Let's do it.
All right, but anyways, now Scrub Nurse, you've heard what you heard through this interview and whatnot. Hey Mega, he spit quite a bit of bars. He went on like a 10-15 minute soliloquy.
I'm sorry.
Right
guys.
there.
I'm sorry.
It's like a Black Thought freestyle. I mean,
Hey, I ain't
Minute.
mad. Let Farrakhan do his work.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
But go on ahead, brother. Go on ahead.
Man, it's a lot of hyperbole going on in these streets. So there you go, K Mega. I'm gonna use a big word right there.
Thank you.
Over exaggeration. Over exaggeration of the situation. Yeah. What I liken this or akin this to is your favorite basketball team when they lose the championship. Guess what? They still got to go talk to the media and the press after the game, or they get fined for not talking to the media. Whether you win or whether you lose,
Dylan Brooks.
you got to get in front of them cameras.
Mhm.
And thank you. I wasn't
Just
gonna
ate that
say it,
fun.
but yeah.
Just ate that fun.
Yeah. It could have been Dylan Brooks, but he wasn't. Just think if he the head coach. The head coach did not play a single game. The head coach made some moves and said, I'm going to put you in this position for us to win. I'm going to put you in this position for us to win. But you still got to make the shot. You still got to throw the pass. You still got to make the block, touchdown, three-pointer, whatever kind of sports analogy you want to use. The head coach can only put you in positions to win, but you got to actually execute. Coach could have the drawn up in the world. If you don't execute it right, it doesn't that. So the head coach still got to talk, even though he didn't mess up a play uh, that said, "Oh, on that last play, how'd y'all let them get a touchdown?" You know what he says is, "We had a game plan. Kudos to the other team. They did this, this, this. We could have done better. We just gonna work hard. We're gonna grind, and next year we're gonna work on getting the championship." He doesn't get on, and a lot of folks was like, "Wow." Phil got on there. He sat there and said what Xbox did wrong. Well, it's obvious what's going on, but what did you want him to do? Oh, it's Matt Booty's fault that this. It's this person's fault who did this. It's the Arcane Studios. I told them no. He sat there
Expected
and
some
said,
snitching.
"Hey, exactly." He sat there. Folks are mad. Folks are on. This was the funny part. The folks are on the internet saying what they did wrong, and Phil said, "Yep, you're right. I apologize. I take some of that." But you got a lot of folks on one side, let's say on the Xbox side, that were just like, how dare you even admit that anything's wrong? That's a defeatist attitude. No, it's not a defeatist attitude. You could see it in his face. He was holding back a lot of stuff, like K Vega said, that he wanted to say. He is not happy with this situation, but he owned up like to it. He said he was going to do the interview. He did the interview, and I appreciate that the fact that he got up and did that to show that he is a leader. He's not somebody who's just going to sit back and just going to hide in the corner and well just wait till it's blow over. Starfield going to come out at this time. Forza Motorsport's going to come out, and then that's when I'm a parade and stick my chest back out. He did not do that. If he's the head, he's going to take the good. He's going to take the bad. So I appreciated him doing that. Another thing with all these studios that are amassed, I don't think Matt Booty, I'm not saying he's doing a bad job. He can't cover all these studios. There's too many
Right.
studios going on for him to say this one's doing good. You know how many flights he would be taking every week just to, or in a month's time to go to all these places to make sure that it's kind of up to par. And then I think there's another problem. You need hands-on controllers other than hey on this video screen show me the details of your this character that y'all creating,
Yeah.
because yeah they can show you the best of everything. They can show you a little what they say vertical slice and it looks great. You can folks can kind of cover up what they're lacking on if you're not physically there and if you don't have hands on sticks going through the game yourself. Now, whoever you decide to do that, whether it's Matt Booty, whether it's Phil, or you say you got a team that comes in, they are C-suite level control players. They put a controller in their hand for the C-suite officials and go in and say, this is wrong, this is wrong. That is totally separate. I used to work QA for a company for a while. Our my
Sound like
department
OSHA.
was totally separate from yeah, my department was totally separate from the whole company. We both had the same name on our shirts, logos exactly the same, but nobody in that whole building was my boss except the C-suite people. So you can go in and say, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, fix this. This is good, that's good, leave that. Because a lot of times when you're in your group and you're judging your own group, you'll let stuff slide because you don't want to say this is wrong or this is wrong. Because y'all buddies or y'all been working together for umpteen years, you're not gonna say, well, Joe, he's working on this part. This cell shading is horrible, but I still work with Joe, so I'm gonna let some of this stuff. No, You bring in a whole team that's dedicated to Phil and whoever in that C-suite, Matt Booty or whatever. These are our game testers come in and at least put our hands on sticks and try the games out if they can't do it themselves. There's some serious quality issues. Yes, let these studios do what they want to do as far as their games, but you can't just let them do everything. You don't tell your kid during summertime, just go wild. I'll see y'all when I get off of work. Just don't tear the house up. I mean, some parents might do that. There's some structure. Do these chores before I get home. Do this before I get home. Don't answer the door to such and such. There's some rules and some, and then during the day you might call and check up, text, whatever. How's this going? Is this done? Have you made your bed yet? Blah blah blah. even if you know your kid is going to do that, you'll still call and check and ask and make sure. I think some of that is being is lacking and not being really discussed. But
He
the
mentioned
main
that
thing
too during the interview. Absolutely. He said we just pretty much left them in the
Mhm,
dust when we have so many people that can work on Unreal. And we literally
exactly, and there's
just
so
left
many.
them in the dust. And I actually posted this on somebody, or I posted this on my show yesterday, Behind Them Sticks. I was telling this dude Hud Zero, I was like, it reminds me of that meme where you see the woman in the pool holding up the kid, and the kid's smiling,
Mhm,
and that's Starfield, while Redfall's drowning. He's a kid. That's the kid
mhm,
drowning in the background. Is
Yeah.
Redfall like asking for help,
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
begging for
perfect.
it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm going
yeah.
ahead, Scrub Nurse. I just wanted to use that analogy.
Yeah, but Silent Cipher use like Scrub Nurse is strict. The reason why I say that when I work QA, if you let people judge their own stuff to say if it's up to par or it's within spec or if it's quality, people 9 times out of 10 will let subpar stuff pass because they don't want to admit that they're not up to par on what's going on. Even the best people with the best of intentions will let stuff slide because they're human. So that's why I really think that they need a group of folks that's their whole entire job is to hold the controller for these people in the C suites to make sure they know what's going on and they don't work for any of these studios because a studio head might put, especially when you're contracted out QA and you don't have a full job, you're only maybe 18 months if you're lucky. They might bring you on there for 2 months. What are you going to say? A lot of times you'll let stuff pass because you want them to hire you again for another contract.
That's it.
So leave. You got to have somebody else that's totally separate that knock it in there. But my main thing that I look at with this situation with Microsoft is there's three things when a company has a vision that is the hardest to see until they finally hit the finish line. Most companies, when they start or anything else, will go bankrupt trying to follow their vision. And when it gets tough, they do usually do three things. They either totally quit and they drop whatever plan, they scrap it and move on because it's just too hard. A company that really believes in their vision, they will keep dogging and going to town on that vision. They will give all their blood, sweat, and tears to that vision until they run the company in the ground. Or the third one is they push and prod and work as hard as they can, and the vision actually works. And what they had in their head, people actually see it, they see the vision, and they enjoy the final product. Now, there is a very razor small edge of you succeeding and totally bankrupting your whole entire company. Um, Look at Apple. Look what iPhones are, Macs, and all that stuff. Back in the 80s, Apple wasn't about nothing at all. But look at that steady climb, and now they're one of the biggest companies in the world. Uh, Tesla's about bankrupt about 5 different times. They're steady up on the up climb, but look at all the stuff they're doing now. 10 years ago, if somebody told you something about an electric car, you look at them like they're stupid. But now you
Yeah,
start
that
looking
thing's already
around
been
and
tried and it didn't work. Remember?
right now you're starting to look around and you go, oh wow, there's an electric car there. And I mean, you might in a bigger city, you might see a bunch of them, but in a smaller city, maybe not. But now you're starting to see what somebody's vision was 15 years ago. Amazon sold books, physical books, online, just books. Now they're selling Amazon Web Service. Amazon, which makes their most money. Amazon Web Services was their own inter-program web solution for the company to make their company work. It worked so well. Guess what they started doing? Selling it to other companies to see if that was going to work for them. They make a killing off of it. But remember, this was a company who was selling books online. Now you got Amazon TV. Now you got all this stuff. I'm old enough, and I know some of y'all are old enough too. I used to get physical DVDs from Netflix mailed to my house.
Yes,
My
sir.
original Netflix account was DVDs mailed to my house, watch them, and you mail them back within 7 days.
I
And
hated
then you
that.
had your list, and a whole nother set comes in. Now it's streaming on not just your PC or your laptop. It's streaming straight to your TV. Remember when TVs were just knobs and you click to get to your station? Who would thought you would have high definition TVs? Now you were getting internet to your TVs, and now you're playing games on your TVs. But look at so many companies who were trying to do the same thing that failed. Look, it's like you're saying, Google Stadia. Look at Luna, different things like that, who are trying to do some of the same things. The problem right now is some people aren't seeing Microsoft Vision, and like I said, that they're on that one little teeter. If they do one or two more things, they either fail or they become the most successful thing they can be. And that's what we're watching right now. You got a lot of people who are rooting for Xbox. You got a lot of people who are rooting for them to fail. But right now, they're going through their growing pains of trying to make this vision that they had work. This hadn't even been 10 years yet of what this vision is now. I know you could say COVID or whatever. They announced all them games, companies 2018, and in my head I said 5 years. 5 years is 2023. That's where I should start seeing some of these games come out. Yeah, we got a game like Redfall. Could have been pushed back some more. Yeah, probably should have been pushed back some more. But I think Redfall was one of those. It gotta come out. It gotta come out. We kept saying it. We done pushed it back. Something has to come out because the rest of the games have not come out yet. So they got to put out something for their quarterly reports, something to show because you got to think Xbox is not a company. Xbox is under Microsoft. You got to show Satya, everybody else, all their
Yes.
shareholders, what have you done with the money that we have given you? And you got to show for something. That's why a lot of these games has come out. Look at Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was straight hot trash when it came out because all the bugs, and their company said, "Put it out now. We don't care what you thought or when. Put it out now," and you see what happened. Same thing, but it just depended on who had it, what console you're on, whether you're PC. You got some stuff people said they didn't have any problems, but the majority of people said they did. Um, so right now we are in some serious growing pains with Xbox. Like K Mega said, look at all the stuff that they thought of that everybody fought against, and now they're doing it. When you sit there and you had a camera on your doggone Xbox, man, I don't want nobody seeing me with this Connect and the government and blah 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 blah. And look what I got now. I'm sitting
People
here
putting
talking
blankets
on
over it.
my computer
Yep. Look at
with
what
a
they doing with
camera.
this.
Yeah, you got your
Yep.
camera phone. You sitting here, oh man, talking to that Connect. They can listen to everything you do. How many folks sitting there? Hey Alexa, hey Siri, blah blah blah. And you know, just and you're doing it now. Same thing with DRM. Everybody can't stand it. PlayStation using DRM now. Look at even though the internet and the way that they have it set up on
That's all Steam is.
yeah, that's all it is. Same thing with
And
Nintendo. Even with
Epic.
their internet service, they got stuff locked down. It's just Microsoft. Oh, I don't want TV on my console, but you'll buy Nvidia system, play it. Oh, I jailbreak my Amazon Fire Stick, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't want
This
cable
boy
no more,
preaching the
so
gospel.
so I jailbreak my Fire Stick. That's the same thing now when you got these apps, so you don't have to watch cable anymore. You just have the app and watch. It's the exact same thing. It's just folks do not like change. Change is hard for everyone. Only true visionaries will sit there and fight through it because it is so damn hard. We are on the sidelines now trying to see is the fourth quarter will Microsoft actually make this score and show everybody their vision and succeed. It is going to be it's thin. It's thin. One slip and it done. Look at Sega. Sega was a powerhouse. It was Sega and what Nintendo don't remember all that stuff. Genesis and look, where's Sega right now? They selling software. They don't have a console anymore. It's because they tried a lot of different things, which now people are using. People are using disc now. They weren't back then. They were using cartridges. It just didn't work for them. So hopefully, um, they do it. And like I said, I talk too damn long, but I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it. It's got to change, but we'll
It's all
see
right
if
to
it's for
talk
the
long
good or
when
for
you
the
talking
worse.
when you talking right. It's all right to talk long when you talking right.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you,
Everything
man.
said was
I ain't mad at
100%.
you.
You're gonna be mad. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
You know what, Matt?
People, yeah.
You know what, Matt?
Yeah.
I asked you if there was anything else that you wanted to add to this show today, and I tell you what, we're about at 2 hours right now. And we've hit just a couple subjects, and I asked you last night. I was like, "Hey, man, is there any subjects you want to add to it?" And you're like, "I'm all set. I think that's gonna last
Yeah,
long enough."
it's gonna last as long enough, and it has. It has.
It really has. One thing before I unleash Matt,
Yeah.
I just want to say that, like, I feel like the negativity that goes around this whole Phil Spencer interview is insanity, in my opinion, because what we just did as, like, you know, consumers of the game, complaining, being honest, being upfront, and him coming out here and doing that. Why are people taking this so bad as like accepting defeat when this dude literally, in my opinion, just he reset the bar. He reset the bar to where it's just like, yo, this shit that we just did was unacceptable. Do you guys in the rafters, do you guys in VIP see this shit right now? This ain't gonna work. We gotta be way more high quality than this. We have to just be better, essentially. We have to be better. That's what I heard him say for most of that interview. Yeah, I mean, you can pick it apart and say, oh yeah, he said this, and this wasn't as pretty as this what he said, and this, like, it admits some sort of negativity towards Xbox, and it's uncomfortable. I tell you what, if he didn't do this and he just walked away, would you be very confident about the very next game that may come out on Xbox, whether it's Starfield or,
No.
I mean, sure, we've seen Forza and we have very high expectations for that because it looks really good. But would you have high expectations for Perfect Dark? Would you have high expectations for Fable? What he just did with this interview was take all of the information and criticism from the community and say, we can't do this shit again, because if we do, either I'm fired or Xbox is in big jeopardy.
What did Nurse say? That thin line.
That thin line, exactly. Matt, go on ahead and spit your bars, man. I've been keeping you back long enough. I know you got some stuff to say.
You were saying what you were saying there. You said if he didn't do this, like if he didn't do this interview, would we feel confident? Forget if he didn't do the interview. What if he went on there and he was, hey, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I think, yeah, Redfall is like, you know, it didn't launch to our expectations, but everything's fine. Everything's fine. Like, I would have much rather him, if he did that, I would have much rather him not even go on it. Just don't even go on it. But he went on there. He took it directly on the chin, which is 100% what you had to do. You had to do it. It was necessary to do, and it was something that folks needed to hear. Folks were focusing in on how he talked about, you don't need to get people to stop buying. You don't need to like get people to stop buying PS5s to measure your success. That's not what he said. That is not what he said. That's what you heard, but that is definitely not what he said. He said that they need to make great games. That's point blank what he said. You have to listen to what he's saying in context. They lost the most important generation to lose. That was 100% the most important generation to lose. While everybody was building all this rapport with PlayStation, they were getting all this positive press. Their consumer base was building their digital library. Doesn't matter what Xbox does. Xbox, like you said, Starfield could be an 11 out of 10. Could be the best game ever made. Does not matter. That's not going to get somebody to ditch $1,000+ worth of PlayStation content that they've bought in the last 10 years to just dump ship and jump to Xbox. That's not how it works. That is not how it works.
That is facts. That's
Dude,
what I'm saying. Yep.
like I got some, like, he addressed so many things in this interview, and I think the biggest one in terms of just Redfall was I liked many things that he said, but one thing he really said that stuck out to me was setting expectations specifically for console players going forward, and that how they didn't do that specifically with IGN this whole April. IGN was doing that whole IGN first for Redfall. Every single trailer they showed was at 60 FPS. And he said, at this point, we knew the game was not going to be 60 FPS on launch on console. And he said that's something we need to start getting ahead of that. And then, like he said, I mean, I forget who asked him the question. Might have been Snowbike Mike who asked the question about 60 FPS for Starfield, or whether or not we'll get a definitive answer. And he was pretty clear, you will know definitively if it is 60 or 30 FPS. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, I'm expecting that to be 30 FPS. But I like the fact that we will know definitively, and I would imagine we'll know definitively by the time the showcase comes around. But he mentioned so many things in that interview, and it's hard to go over all of them, but like the fact that he said that they should have been in there sooner with Arcane, helping with the issues. That's something that they need to start doing. It's like, I'm not at that top level. I don't know what it's like to be integrating the entirety of ZeniMax into Xbox. I can't imagine what that's like, but at some point that's got to be integrated, because there's so many internal studios at Xbox that could really help you with Unreal Engine, that know what they're doing with Unreal Engine, that offer valuable information. And the fact that, you kind of just left Arcane out there to just kind of, hey, figure it out. It hurt that game. It hurt that game, and it hurt where it is right now. But the interview, man, it's like, and the things you guys said, like, all of it is facts. All of it is facts. It's something that needed to be said. I haven't heard Phil Spencer talk that candidly about Xbox since ever. I don't think I've ever heard him talk that candidly about Xbox. Definitely not this generation. It was nice to hear. It was it sucked the situation that brought it upon us, but it was something that kind of needed to be said. And I think, going forward, you hear that, the mistakes that they made with Arcane, with Redfall, are the things that they're absolutely not doing with Starfield. They're absolutely in there with Starfield. They've been in there earlier in the process with Starfield. They're exchanging notes back and forth with it. They're playtesting it. They're doing Q&A on it. They're doing all that stuff on it. They're 100% transparent about that stuff. And that's something that needs to be done, not just with Starfield, but going forward entirely with Xbox Game Studios and Bethesda, if you want to separate them. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot there to talk about. But did you guys also mention, I mean, some good news, I guess, that at the end of the interview, he was talking about the showcase, and he said, we have Starfield, Forza, and then he mentioned Hellblade.
He mentioned Hellblade.
He mentioned Hellblade, and I'm wondering, does that mean, Starfield comes first, maybe Forza second, and then maybe Hellblade is soon after that? Because it sounds like that's the pipeline. Like Hellblade is the third game after Forza, which that
would be massive.
That would be huge. It's like if you could find a way to get those out this year, or even early Hellblade early next year. That's very, very big. And he's also talking about, quarterly having one quality shipped game per quarter. That's massive. So, we got to see it done. He said that multiple times. You're not going to believe it until you actually see it. And I like that he acknowledged that. But I mean, I don't know what else you want from him. I don't know how you can watch this interview and be disappointed with Phil Spencer. I see a lot of people disappointed. I don't know how you can be. He took it right on the chin. He said all the things he needed to say, and he was very honest about it. So, hats off to him. Hats off to Kind of Funny. Everybody involved with that.
You know,
I loved everything a bit of it.
You know, this panel, it's been absolutely phenomenal so far. I got Stanley Francois saying, big facts, scrub nurse. Silent Cypher, facts, K Mega. Let me see. What was it? Yeah, Jeremy Brown saying now Matt's spitting, and then he comes back and says this whole panel is spitting facts, and you know it's phenomenal because I'm just happy to see that the chat is full of people that are understanding, knowing the things that are kind of going on, and not here to try to just ruin everybody's experience that's either watching or on the panel today. Everybody is, you know, pretty even keeled and, you know, saying exactly how they feel about all these subjects here today.
Yeah.
What's up?
Can I say one more thing? There's a narrative I've seen this past week when Redfall launched of people saying that if you're having fun with this game, if you're enjoying this game, then you are what is wrong and your why will never be fixed. Here's the thing. If that's your mentality, you need to shut up. You 100% need to shut up. And you need to learn how to have some fun. Because me playing Redfall, broken or not, at launch in Game Pass, that's not going to move. That's not going to move a needle. That's not going to, like, me deciding not to play it is not going to just suddenly fix everything. Now there's no more broken games at launch because I didn't play Redfall. That's not how it works. It's like enjoy what you enjoy or don't enjoy what you don't enjoy. But like, don't tell other people what to enjoy, what they can have fun with, what they can't have fun with, because that's weird stuff. That needs to stop.
Yeah.
100%. But before we get out of here, I just want to hit this last topic, which this one should be probably the shortest of them all. I wanted to talk a little bit about what your guys' thought process is after seeing the interview with Phil Spencer. I know you kind of talked about it, you and alluded to it a little bit. Pretty much everybody here on the panel, but what I want to talk about just real fast is Starfield and see what you guys' thoughts are for that. Do you think that this is going to come out anywhere in the shape or form that Redfall came out? Also, do you think this is going to be 60 frames? We already heard from Matt that he's not anticipating that. So you don't have to answer that question. But I'm going to push this first question over to K Mega, get his kind of thoughts and opinions on what he thinks about Redfall after kind of, you know, everything that's been going on as of lately.
Okay, well, I don't think Starfield is going to be 60 frames per second only. I think it's going to be 30. Maybe there might be a 60 frames per second option. But no, there's no question that this. Yeah, there is a possible, but I mean, I'm banking that it's going to be 30. It just all quality mode. But no, this game. I mean, and Phil said it himself. He's like, no, he's had hands on with it himself. That no, Starfield is coming along nicely. This is supposed to be, I guess, the next big one for Xbox, and so I think I think that they put all their attention and all their eggs in a basket for this one. And then of like what Matt said, that they kind of left, and what you said to Ham is that they kind of let Arcane to dry with Redfall. But I think that I am looking forward to this game, and it will not be a buggy mess like Redfall. No. I would bet my YouTube check on it. I bet my YouTube check on it. It won't be broken.
All right, Scrub Nurse, where are you at with this whole Starfield thing? Are you even looking forward to playing this game? And do you think it's gonna kind of move the needle when it comes for Xbox during, you know, this time where it seems like everybody and their mamas mad at
Mm-hmm.
Xbox.
Um, I'm definitely looking forward to Starfield. I want to see what they can do with that genre, what they can do with a PC, with a console. We have these quote unquote current gen. I still call them next gen because nobody's really tested these consoles yet. Most of these games are still using assets or whatever from the previous generation, or they are just barely scratching the surface of the new console, whether it's PlayStation or it is Xbox. I mean, the only ones that we really running into problems maybe flight simulator, and that's understandable with all the processing that's going into it. I do want to see what they can do with this game. Will it be a game that I'm just, you know, you wake up and see me still huddled over the console a week later, never saw daylight? No. um but I do want to see what it's about. I definitely do not believe it's going to have a 60. I don't even think it's going to have a 60 mode option. I really don't, because the way Bethesda has set themselves up, they're the 30 FPS kings. Todd Howard has said he loves his 30 FPS, and this game is his baby. Unless somebody has brought an edict down from the heavens to have a 60 mode option, I don't see it happening. Uh, I think this is
That's
gonna,
deep.
the time that they used on this game right now is going to be all polished, still 30. Do I still think the gun mechanics are going to be about where it was at? I remember how we were talking about it. I wanted to see Redfall shoot mechanics because I thought they was going to be better because they was having folks helping. We were hearing rumors helping. Then
Yep.
Starfield. I mean, I think Starfield probably be where Redfall's mechanics were. Redfall mechanics weren't horrible. They could have been better, but it wasn't that big of a leaps and bounds to what we've seen with Starfield already. I think this is like what I was talking about earlier. This is, hey, we're gonna take a moonshot. We're gonna think big. We're gonna risk it big, and see where it's going. This has the hype of, the first God of War, in this new succession of God of War come out, or the
Oh yeah.
Cyberpunk, where for 7, 8 years you've been hearing about this game coming out, and the hype just building, 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 and you see where God of War was, and the acclaim and the accolades and top tier and winning all these awards, and you saw where Cyberpunk had problems and failed, and it just dropped. Even though once they got to where it needed to be, that was one of my favorite games of all time. Was
Phenomenal.
Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, just the immersion into that game, to be able to do all the different things in there and just go through this massive city and all the stuff that Bethesda can bring some of that, and the storytelling as well, with the factions, all this stuff. This game can be big. It's just, are you going to execute? I, and the way it got delayed, I can't see you delaying that to put 60 on it, because you'll be taking too many people and too many assets away to almost like redo portions of the game to put it at 60. This has,
Mm.
if you're gonna stop that game from not coming out 11/11/22, it's because it needs a lot of polish, fix the bugs. You don't want to come out with another Bethesda game kind of thing, and so we'll just see how it goes. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. That was that was pretty perfect the way you laid that out there. But now I want to hit over to Matt Likes Games, see what his opinion is for, and I want to ask you as well, Matt, because we kind of talked about it before being on the podcast. I believe it was either yesterday or earlier or whatever. But we were talking about how Phil, and I actually even mentioned it earlier with the whole, baby meme in the pool and whatnot. Phil openly admitted that, we put a lot of people, a lot of extra people onto Starfield in comparison to Redfall. Do
Yeah.
you think that is going to help? Or obviously it's going to help, but do you think that's going to actually push Xbox to making this game that everybody's been anticipating, or do you think it's going to be pretty close but not quite?
I think it's gonna be. I mean, it's my most anticipated game until Elder Scrolls 6. It's my most anticipated game this generation, and it's like we don't even know if Elder Scrolls 6 is coming this generation. So right now, this is my most anticipated game this generation. So I think this game is going to be great. I think it will launch with bugs. However, I think it will be the most polished Bethesda game we've seen. Bethesda games launch with bugs. That's what it is. It's just those games are too big to not have bugs. They have them. It's just the nature of those games. But like I think, adding an extra year of development, they wanted this out 11/11/22. Didn't happen. That extra year of development, that's what Scrubner said. That's polish time. That's getting things working the way they should be. Getting game breaking bugs taken care of. Get that stuff out of there as much as you possibly can. QA test the hell out of it. Like you said, Xbox has multiple people, teams of people over there helping with Starfield. They're on top of it. Xbox knows how. I mean, forget Xbox, Bethesda and Xbox. They both know how important this game is. They both know the hype for this game. I think it will meet those expectations. As for the 60 FPS, you already know my answer, like you said. But I want to bring up for people listening, like Fallout 4 on Series S, they have the FPS boost. If you go into the downtown area, this is Fallout 4 in 2015. This game came out. If you go downtown in Fallout 4 with FPS boost turned on, your game will just freeze. Your game will just seize up for 3 to 5 minutes. It will unlock, and then you can keep playing, and it'll just do it again and again and again. Like, these games are very, very, very taxing. So I like, for that reason, I don't expect it to be 30 FPS. It's gonna be a very taxing game, but I expect it to launch, polished, a complete experience without game-breaking bugs. I fully expect that, and I expect it to review very, very well. And I'm very hyped for it.
Perfect. I know I'm really excited for the game. I've been, Skate Meg, you already know, I was very frustrated last year when they announced the delay. I can't even imagine what they were planning on giving us Redfall looking like last year. If they were thinking about launching that game in 2022, I can't even.
So far the delays has been the last 3 delays has been kind of suspect. So
See, with that being said, that's the only thing that kind of worries me about Starfield at all, is because you delayed Redfall knowing that it wasn't ready, and then you still shipped it, and it was really bad. I understand what Phil said, like, oh, we can't continue to make this mess and whatnot, but like, as much as I enjoy Phil Spencer and like, I really like Xbox, you're only as good as your last showing to a lot of people, including myself sometimes. So I really hope that they hit this. I think they will. I don't think it'll be 60 FPS when it comes out. I think that might be something that happens like later on down the line, possibly, or maybe even next generation. But I think this game is going to hit. Like, any kind of pieces I've seen of Starfield so far is pretty mesmerizing. I mean, from being able to go from planet to planet, shooting either first person or third person, like a lot of Bethesda games allow you to do, flying around with your boosters and being in combat at the same time, building your own ship, fighting with that ship in, random areas of the universe. I mean, that all sounds phenomenal. It really just comes down to execution at the end of the day. I'm really expecting them to execute, especially after Phil pretty much said, "Yo, we left this to burn in the oven while we really cared and nurtured this specific thing." if you said that you're gonna if that you cared and nurtured it, you better show up when you say
Yeah,
that.
you have
Right.
to.
But the
Yeah.
thing that Phil
Right.
Spencer also said that I want to like be very specific on, he took a line from Jim Ryan, and I thought it was interesting. He said, "We're gonna let the games do the talking."
Yep.
And I was just
You have
like,
to.
sounds like he is a little angry. Sounds like he's a little angry because right now he's saying, you know what? All BS aside, you know what? Redfall, I'm angry with it. I'm not happy, but this is I've had enough. I've had enough.
Or it could be
And
confidence.
I mean, it
I
could
think it's
be.
confidence.
It's
Because
I
he
think
did
it's a
say-
little both. I think it's a little both,
Yeah.
honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he was mad about this. About of course he was mad about Redfall,
Mhm.
but I think that. But he also said that the pipeline of what Xbox has going forward is finally got out of the pandemic era,
Mhm.
and now we're starting. Now you're going to start seeing what we have and what we will announce. I think that this overall, this is what this was. This was supposed to be the welcome back Xbox to the high level interview. You know, you got the ABK deal. Redfall was labeled as a good game. You got this event coming up here. Starfield is supposed to be this the next big thing next to, I guess, Halo and Gears and Forza and Fable and all this other stuff. This was supposed to be Xbox's let's go. We're here now. You don't have to worry. And then it just turned into, well, I gotta sit here and let people know what's going on. So you're right, but I think that it's all going to this thing happens, and I said this before, every 8 to 10 months. There's the Xbox fan base, some of them get out of pocket, overreact, and then by the time that it gets to E3 or whatever showcase, then they're right back on board. It almost seems like it's set, and this is what gives this impression to PlayStation gamers out there that looks at it from an outside lens. Is like, you guys are always waiting for E3. You know what I'm saying? But it's really actually some content creators that get shit overblown and just can't talk about one game or one situation and harp on that. They got to make the whole thing into like, well, Xbox is in disarray, doom and gloom. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what you should do because Xbox is not doing it for me anymore. And then Xbox does something good. I knew it. I told you. Wait for what Xbox is going to show you. It's such a circle jerk. It's almost maddening at this point.
Yeah, it definitely is because, I mean, what you can tell about some people that do like the content creation is they're just riding the high of whatever the crowd is feeling instead of just telling the
A
truth.
hot new thing.
And
Mhm.
it's super annoying. I mean, it just feels like pandering, and then like at the same time it just comes right back around and smacks you in the face. And I mean, there's been, I'm not going to call out any names because I feel like that'd be disrespectful, but you know, if you know, there were plenty of people at the Redfall at the Redfall play tests or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that week it was a great game and this week it's terrible? Like, even if you played a vertical slice, that game doesn't really change that much.
No.
It's the same game whether you do 10 minutes of it 20 or 30 hours in, or if you do 10 or 20 minutes, you know, after that little bit of dialogue and stuff like that after you get to your first mission. It's the same game, except you may have more level ups and stuff with your character and stuff like that. I can't imagine the enemy AI was just fantastic during the playtest, and then all of a sudden it was broken. I can't imagine that, you know, little mechanics got overlooked, like dashing and stuff like that. Like, I really, like, that game needs a dash mechanic.
It needs a dash
It
mechanic.
needs a dash mechanic.
If that game had a dash, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
How in the heck did all of these prolific content creators with thousands of followers, and they have these wild thumbnails that always say new console performance and new video game drop, and they have all this crazy stuff.
Xbox.
They went out and tested it. They supposedly went out and tested it, said it's great, but then once the actual crowd reception says, nah, this ain't it. Oh, this ain't it for you either.
Right. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. You didn't know that the game wasn't 60 frames per second, or you didn't, because I mean, of course, if you played the game from a PC, you couldn't ask, is this going to be 60 on consoles? And then let the gamers
It was definitely
know
on
what
PC.
you heard.
Yeah, it was
Well,
100% on PC. 100%.
It was 100% on PC, but it's just like what Nurse said. A lot of these guys, they want to continue that job. That, just like he was talking about the contractors that will just say, look, man, I'm going to say whatever so I can go ahead and get to the next job. This is exactly what this sounds like. And I mean, you can't come out and make videos and talk about we need to talk, but you were one of the main people that was hyping up this game to out of existence. That's not that. I mean, listen, I respect everybody that does content creating. I mean, there's no disrespect or anything like that.
Yes.
But you got to be real about it. I mean, if we're going to be real and have the good talk, then either are you doing this for clicks and or are you doing this for the real actual purpose of wanting gamers to get true actual gaming information and news, or is it all about you just trying to get your base bigger and better? I don't get it. I mean, and then after giving up all the hype about this game, bragging about how many people watch your other video talking bad about the game. I don't know. It's crazy, but it is what it is.
And them making that video, them making the preview video, saying it's great, saying that it was a blast, you didn't run into issues, it was fantastic. If you're really running into issues, and you did, because you played the same game we're playing now, except you played an earlier build of it, if you really run into issues and you're not telling them about it, you're not hurting you're not really even hurting Xbox. I mean, you might be hurting their image a little bit. You're hurting Arcane, really, because this is a creative risk for them. This is not a game they've ever done before. So the next time Arcane wants to do something a little bit out of their box or whatever, Microsoft is going to look back at this. Satya Nadella is going to look back at this. Phil Spencer is going to look back at this and say, well, the last time you did something that was different from what you've done before, look what happened. Like, you got to be honest about what you're playing. Like, you have to, like, especially when you have that kind of crowd, you need to be honest about it, because that only helps to make the studio making the game you're talking about better, or their next game better. And that's what you want, is good games. That's what everybody wants. So, like, it's a responsibility having that many people listen to you, and you gotta be saying the right things. You gotta be saying the right things.
And you got to take responsibility. I mean, all of us. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had to take my L's and had to come correct about things that I was wrong about. And I don't have nearly the following as some of these other people out here. But the fact of it is that I feel that for the listeners that do support me, I gotta keep it real. And I don't know, man. Regardless of if people knew about, from they couldn't answer the questions from the play test, it's still the overhyping of something that got people to think this badly of Redfall. If just you came out and says, look, this game, it has a lot of potential. This game looks like it could be a hit, but I'm going to leave that to your discretion as a gamer. I just think that this game is going to be pretty damn good. That's all you had to say. But that's not how that's not how it comes off. And it's not just one particular person that I'm just making this point to, because there's plenty of people that's talked about it, that's had their hands on the game. I mean, I know that I said the title to one particular person, but that's included in that. But this is a whole collective. And this is something that is reason why Sony is hard body on content creators, and also the gaming media about who gets what and how they get it. If you don't say what we want you to say, then you're not going to get a chance to get access to it. So, we want content creators to get out there and to play these games and to be correct about it. But we don't. But this was just an ugly situation all across the board about Redfall.
I just don't understand how somebody went into that play test, punched an NPC in the ass, and was like, "Fuck, this shit was fire." Woo! Woo! Did you see that? His ass punched.
Saw a lot of these people, dude. The preview was amazing, and then the game comes out. They give a review on the game. It's like, what happened with Redfall? It's like, what do you played the game before it was out? You tell me.
Right.
What did you play? Like you said, it was amazing. What did
you gave? You gave me hype. I wasn't even looking at the game like that.
I don't know what happened with it.
Where Loke was on it, but I was like, it's going to be around a 75 to an 88 max. But but really, when I first was here, I'm like, oh, this is a game that's going to get hit with a 70, maybe an 80, 81 at the max, and I'm cool. But because all of this hype, I'm like, well, hold on, shit. And then I'm looking at the trailers. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. That shit might be really the one. I'm like, man. And then, like you said, Ham, you give an elbow to an ass cheek, and you're like, wait, what? This is no, bro. It ain't that. It ain't that. It's good, fun game. Got good potential. My last point too on this is that another thing that I'm very disappointed in to a lot of people that's demanding that this game should be forgotten about and left to dry and left to die. It's just like what Ham said, is that they put a lot, and I think Matt said it as well. These people put a lot of effort and time into this game. And this is potentially a reason why people today that was over here talking about Sunset Overdrive, which Sunset Overdrive is owned by Sony, but Rise, Son of Rome, and Quantum Break, and Recore, and a game that I love a lot, Bleeding Edge, stuff like that, might not ever get to see the time of day because you're trying to beg for this game to go away. And what these new IPs that may not be the big banger, but this game can come out to be a really good, solid, fun franchise going forward. You don't want that game to fall. And I'm glad Phil Spencer said that we're going to let Arcane keep working on this game to make it the best that it can be and stick with it because it's going to be the most approachable game that they've ever made. And that's part of that creative freedom.
Yes. 100%.
Fantastic. Well, let's go on ahead and get to wrapping up the show because that was fantastic and I don't want to have a dull moment. So with that being said, please, each of you guys, Matt, K Mega, Scrub Nurse, first you, Scrub Nurse, go on ahead and let everybody know where they can find you. What to expect to see from you. I see you always popping up on the Xbox saying live stream and stuff like that while I'm in the middle of doing my dang thing. So go on ahead and shout yourself out and let everybody know.
Yeah, like said in the beginning, for y'all, come check us out. Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, Gaming Beyond the Box with Wilmy Hood and the crew. Come check us out, have some fun, have some drinks, goof off, and we talk about everybody. So, we'll have the about this much ever of a console where everybody gets heat, but we all have fun. Just it got a good feel of you and your homies sitting at the house having some drinks and talking about video games. So if you like that, come check us out on Sunday nights. You can check me out on Twitter, ScrubNurse3. You can see what I got going on. I also post a lot of little Call of Duty snippets. And then since I was reprimanded, my boy Ham said I just got to go and start streaming. I've been getting more, at least a couple each week on Twitch. So you can check me out on my Twitch, Scrub_Nurse. And I do a little Call of Duty and just hanging out, being goofy with my homeboys. So come check us out. I appreciate everybody in the chat, especially everybody on the replay gang. A lot of y'all don't get that love. It's usually all the live people, but we love the replay gang. Glad for y'all listening out, and I just had fun hanging out with you fellas. This was good. It was good, man. The second somebody finished talking, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Let me get my point in, and that's what it's supposed to be. Nobody felt dull, even though I sound a little monotone. I was really excited about the show, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Scrub Nurse. You did your thing here today, and I really appreciate every second of your time being here on the TSWS Bullsitting episode this evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank
It
you.
was fantastic, and I cannot wait to have you back on for another topic. And I'm thinking
Yes, sir.
Starfield might be that topic. So coming in,
Diablo.
coming
Diablo
early.
coming
Oh, this man right here. All right. I might have to.
Man, just
Yeah, because if you're gonna be playing Diablo, I know Matt and me are gonna be playing Diablo. K Mega, where you
Yes.
at?
I'm definitely playing Diablo.
Yeah, I already told my wife that like the gaming budget's gonna go up next month because Street Fighter 6 is getting a straight 100 and something, and then Diablo gonna get 100 and something too, and then
Diablo gonna
there's
get
gonna
that
be
100.
and then there's a couple other games that I'm looking at, a couple of fighters, and so of course I'm like, baby, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You might not get your nails done this month. You know what I'm saying? Or these couple of weeks because I'm gonna be getting these fire games. So yeah, I will be playing Diablo.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's going to be a heavy panel when Diablo hits because I'm assuming Loke's going to be back. Cozy said she's going to be back starting next week, so I better get to work on my OBS. But yeah, man, I already purchased that Diablo game. I got the $89.99 one. There's one above it that gives you like. What was it, Matt? Like 25 level ups or something?
Yeah, because
silly.
you
Something
skip
like
you skip to level 25 in the battle pass, and I don't need that.
I'm not going to
to
pay an extra
Call of
$10 to have the game play for me. I'll just do it myself. So I recommend K Mega. It's up to you. I mean, if you don't like to play that hard and you wanted some free I played already credits, it's there for you, brother. But but yeah, I recommend the $89.99 one, and shout out to Silent Cypher, which is one of the gentlemen that actually donated to me being able to purchase that game. I've been collecting Microsoft points for a hot minute, and he just went on ahead and just sent me a very
That's awesome.
generous, like I don't remember if it was like 50 or 60 or something like that, but he took care of like majority of that game for me, and I was just like, dope, that's what's up. But yeah, I appreciate you, Silent Cypher.
Like that.
It's fantastic.
It is.
I love the community, and I love the community that I'm building up over here on this channel. It's been fantastic.
Yes.
I've had a lot of very fantastic people come through here, subscribe, and everything. But without further ado, Matt likes games. Jeez Louise. Please go on ahead and sign yourself out. Let everybody know where they can find you and everything like that.
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter at Matt Likes Games, YouTube, Matt Likes Games, videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's it.
Simple as that. Thank you, everybody that came out to the show. It was fantastic. Had a lot of familiar faces in here. Had a few new faces in here. It was a really good time. Thank you. Make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, and this is your first time here, you're more than welcome to hit that subscribe button. And definitely be willing to get in the chat, talk, spit your bars. We like to hear from all sorts of different gamers. Whether you're new to the space or you've been here for as long as Sir X-Man's been here. Jeez Louise. But anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Panel, it's been fantastic. Chat, it's been fantastic. As I always say, make sure that you guys are keeping it gaming or keeping it moving. Peace out, y'all. My bad. Oh Lord, I done forgot about K Mega over. Sign yourself out, brother.
No.
You can find K Mega on K Mega 405
Do it
Or
for
is
me.
it K Mega 4? I don't even remember, brother.
It's K-Mega
4
4
or 5.
but it's K-Mega 4 on Twitter. But yeah, man, I mean, just go
that's
check
your
out
sign
Nacho
out.
Alex over there taking a shot at me. That was pretty funny. Oh my goodness.
Peace.
Oh my god. Oh man, I wanted to get you. I was like, oh, it's all good, but I wanted to give you a hard time, and I'm like, oh shit, don't do that. But yeah.